Welcome, my friends, to the Eternal Challenger League Season 2 Qualifier 2, or Season 3 Qualifier 2. Getting the numbers a little bit mixed up. But today, guys, we have two best of threes and a best of five finals. Let's go ahead, before we get started here, and take a look at the bracket for today. So, the first match, we're going to have Vicious Satsuma facing off against VM von Karstein. And our second best of three of the day is going to be Chosen One CZ facing off against Pavao. And that's pretty much it. And then after that, of course, we're going to have our classic best of five final, and the winner will be getting inscripted here onto the tablet of the Empire, I guess, the parchment of the Empire. Falcon, of course, qualified for the first one. He was able to win that in a pretty epic fashion. And, of course, today's winner will be joining here, and all of these 8 competitors will be going on to a grand finals. Well, of course, once we finish all of the qualifiers. So, guys, thank you so much for joining. Hopefully you enjoyed that little trailer. And I figure, without further ado, let us jump right into the first match, which is going to be a showdown between Vicious Satsuma and VM von Karstein. It is I. It is I. Oh, yeah, that happens sometimes. Okay, hold on. Yeah, I don't know why. What causes that? Hold on, guys. All right, how about now? Oh, hello. Sound settings. Hold on, guys. There's like a bug where my voice is super deep. One sec, guys. I'll fix it. All right, how about now? Is that better, guys? Yeah, that's kind of weird. It occasionally with my microphone, it makes me sound like just super low and like demonic. Yeah, but anyways, guys. So just to recap things, I don't know if you're able to understand it, but today is going to be the Eternal Challenger League Season 3 Qualifier number 2. And we have 4 competitors, which of course you saw in the bracket here. Game 1 is going to be Vicious Satsuma and VM von Karstein. And then in our second best of 3, it's going to be Chosen One CZ facing off against Pavao. So it's fixed. You guys like that? I always thought it was kind of creepy sounding. That happens in my replay sometimes. It's really, really weird. But anyways, guys, I think we're good. Let us jump into the first match. No more wasting time, mincing words. I grow in power. Yes. Damn, Aerocrastic says he's watching 3 streams at once. That is quite the feat, my friend. Yeah, that's Chaos Turn right there. Doesn't sound like that anymore, does it? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that happens. It's so weird. I just have to like plug in my mic and, take it in and out. That's what she said. And then after that, it just is totally fine. So first match of the day is going to be at Altdorf Outskirts. It's going to be Greenskins against Norsca, which is a fun matchup. I don't know about favorability. I mean, maybe. I don't know. This is a bit of a tricky one. I feel like Greenskins have some pretty good tools. I mean, Orc Airboys, the Rustierers, Black Orcs are actually pretty good in the front line. They're a good generalist unit in the sense they're immune to psychology, so a lot of the mammoths and things like that can't really break through them. But again, Greenskins can go super wide with like Savage Orcs and just, fight that grindy WoW fight, but it really depends. Multiple styles of play. Yes, Travis Schaefer says you just got done eating a cheeseburger. Sounds glorious, my friend. Yes. Thank you guys for joining. What's up, Wicked, Aerocrastic? The crew is here. And yeah, we're in our first match of the day. We've been having a lot of campaign streams, but we're going to be doing Eternal Challenger League qualifiers once a week, of course. I want to try and keep it once a week just to kind of pace it out over the course of a couple weeks to really add that narrative, So we're going to be doing that. And of course, the other campaigns will be continuing during the week, most likely. We don't have the Empire in this first game. So in the first game, it's going to be Vicious Satsuma playing the Greenskins. And it looks like he's going to be having Wurzog as his Pigmaster here. Yeah, it's going to be Wurzog. Pretty standard stuff. And over here, we do, of course, have von Karstein, who's going to be coming in with the Norskins. And it looks like he's going to be going for very much a Blitz build.
So using the Famir Warriors, using the Mammoth, I mean, it's pretty solid. You basically stack the Famir on top of the Berserkers. And a lot of people actually don't know this, but the Famir Warriors, if you take a look here, do actually have some armor sundering, so they can lower the armor of their target by 30, which makes the Berserkers actually reasonably effective against even the more armored targets on the greenskin roster. So a little bit of lag as they load in. Hopefully it'll subside, and I don't think it's on my part, but we'll take a look. Samuel Christensen says, do you prefer constantly shifting meta with armies? I think at the rate it's going now, it's fine. I mean, the meta shifts for sure when new DLC comes out, but it's not like so drastic that it's an issue in my opinion. Let's go and take a look here, make sure everything's good on the back end. Yes, I'm not having any lag here, so we will see. We will see here. Hopefully it will subside, whatever's going on here. We may have to restart the game, but Greenskin's better win or I'm losing my bet. Ooh, Rage Piglet, man. We'll see, man. We will see. You guys connected? Okay. Okay. Stable now. I think it's stabilized now. Okay, perfect. Yeah, it seems like I can mouse over everything. Yep. Just a load in. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and take a look at the Greenskin army. So for the Greenskins, they're going to be going for a massive skirmishing corps, it looks like, of the Goblin Wolf Rider Archers, which is pretty interesting. So these little bastards, you know, pretty decent against Norsca. They're relatively fast. They can shoot skin wolves. They can shoot against, like, you know, a lot of the lightly armored infantry troops like Berserkers. And when you do break off some of these Norscan troops, for example, you're going to be able to chase them off the battlefield. So the Goblin Wolf Rider Archers are going to be pretty good dual purpose here. The Mammoth himself, I think, have 70 armor, give or take, so not going to be like the best target for them, but the Berserkers are a very choice, juicy target. And also, you can do some counter-skirmishing against the Hounds. Now, Norscan Hounds and Warhounds in general do have 95 speed, so they can catch the little Goblins. But the Goblins, of course, if they're running and microed effectively and do have some other Goblins that kind of run interference, can actually do pretty well in that. So I like that quite a bit. Now, for the main line, it's going to be, looks like Biggins or Orc Boys. No, it's actually going to be Orc Boys here in the front line. So let's see, Orc Boys, and Orc Boys. We've got a couple Savage Orc Biggins here in the secondary, and it looks like a Giant, but let's go ahead and see here. How's lag now? Seems to be fine now. Okay, so they seem to be having no problems, which is fine. So it might be a little bit laggy, but hopefully once they actually connect and like fully load in, I think that's part of the issue here, but we'll see. We will see. Turin is a city in Italy. That is correct. Savage Orc Biggins here in the secondary line, pretty solid pick. Immune to psychology while their frenzy's active, of course, and they also do have anti-large, armor piercing, not armor piercing, but anti-large, which is quite substantial. They do have 13 AP damage, so not like, you know, something to sneeze at. It's not like Goblin AP damage, but yeah, against like Famir and things like that, their bonus versus large will help them eventually grind out that fight, and in sustained combat they will do okay. Granted, these troops are very lightly armored, so Berserkers and things like that are really going to be able to chew through this Greenskin front line very, very heavily. We got the Pigmaster in the back. He's on his Wild Hog. You can see Spleen Rippa here just cheering mightily outside the gates of Aldorf. I don't really know how they got here, but, you know, let's not ask questions. Yeah, so we're Zog here. We also have a Giant. Now, Giants have been a thing I've been seeing a little bit more, and Norsca doesn't have any Javelins or things that would normally be very punishing against the Giant, so I feel like the Giant might actually be okay here, but there are some Marauder Hunters, I suppose, and I think these are regular Famirs. They're not going to be the Great Weapon variant, so that Giant is actually going to be really, really solid here. Now, there is a Vanguard from Norsca. It looks like some of the Hounds and the Beasts of Tashnar are going to be in deep Vanguard, just in case the Greenskins were in a defensive kind of turtle formation. But nonetheless, I actually think this Giant pick is going to be quite strong. Now for the forces of von Karstein over here, who's going to be playing Norsca, it looks like it's going to be Berserkers in the front line. We do also have a Famir Balefiend. He's got Fireball, Cascading Fire Cloak, Burning Head, all that good stuff. So, I mean, his front line's going to be quite good against Greenskins here, especially with the support of Famir. I mean, Orc Boys and Biggins don't really have armor to begin with. I mean, they have like 30, so they're going to get put to 0 by the armor sundering here, potentially. Wolfric is actually going to be in a little bit of trouble. We have Effigy of the Git coming in from the Baconator over here, plus we also have a Giant who can kind of catch him and do some serious work, so unfortunately, guys, my apologies for the lag, but after this, we'll switch the host of the game. Sometimes that helps. We'll have these guys host the game and see if that helps out. So, yes. Welcome, guys. Welcome. So the Goblins are going to be opening up with their first salvo right here on top of the side of the Berserkers, which is a pretty good target. Definitely the choicest target here on this roster. And I can offer the players we could restart too if they want to, but it's up to them. We'll let it go here for a second. You can restart. Want to restart with different host? Yeah, because we have players connecting from different countries, so we can try that. And usually we don't have lag from these two gentlemen. I've seen them. I played with them before and haven't had any issues. Okay, von Karstein. We have to see if von Karstein wants to as well. So We'll restart it, and then we could have one of them host, and we'll see if that fixes the problem. I love wearing socks and sandals. Yeah, I do that all the time. Looks like Russia is throttling von Karstein's internet again. Oh, is this something that's happened in the past? That's too bad. We'll see if he says anything as well. Yeah, I think it's a restart because it's really, really laggy. Okay. Let's have... Cool. All right, so we're going to restart real quick, guys. It's pretty laggy, and that's not fun to watch at all, so... We'll figure it out, but if it continues to be an issue with his lag, we might have to find a replacement, but we're not sure who's lagging, but according to Aerocrastic, it seems like there's been a little bit of lag in the past, but we'll make them play the same armies and everything, and it should be fine. So, that is doing it to it. So let me message the guys in Discord real quick here. Okay. Yeah, Chosen One is going to be playing in our next best of 3. All right, let's rehost it. Man, they got in there really quick. Oh, I was going to say, like, they didn't host it that quick. All right. 1 second, guys. Technical difficulties, which is unfortunately the consequence of not having dedicated servers and all that good stuff. The lag wins the battle, correct. Correct, it's the nature of the beast. So quick break here, guys. We'll take a look at the bracket in the meantime. Coming up here. Game 1, it's going to be Vicious Satsuma for new people joining in. You know, you got to look at the upside. When we first started, there was like 200 people in stream, and now there's 463. So at the very least, those fine folks won't be missing this first game. Chosen did pretty well in Halo's tournament just earlier today. Oh, that's good to hear. Great. Yeah, I'm trying to get some, folks who haven't played in ECLs and things like that before, so we're doing it to it. He's had his warm-up. Oh, all right. Well, on friend games, perhaps. No, I shouldn't appear here because these folks are all on my friends list. Alrighty. I've also just reset my router in case it's something on my end. So we'll have him host this game. Should be loading up here in a second. In the meantime, folks can gather and we can prepare for the first battle of the day. It looks like von Karstein may have reset his router as well. So I think both players just went and reset everything, which is pretty fun. And again, for anyone watching this back after the fact, there will be timestamps to the beginning of the battle so you guys can skip all this goodness. Where do orcs rank in the meta right now? I think orcs can be pretty good. They have a couple weaknesses, very susceptible to lord sniping for sure. But, they have some competitive lore picks. They have like Wurzog, they have Azag. Waz, one of the stronger effects in the game. It's really, really good. Bonewood Staff is incredibly good. Orcs are strong. I don't know if I'd say like A tier, like top tier or S tier as people usually say, but I think they're pretty good nonetheless. Alrighty. We'll continue to check here as we get rolling. Oh man, I would definitely dig some pizza right now. That does sound quite good. Cool. So Satsuma has hosted. And make sure he opens up a spec slot. Game's up. Yeah, tier lists are misleading for sure. I don't put a lot of credence in them. Like, if you're really good at a faction, you take games off people. And that's what... I actually don't use debug camera. Shidoku, just message me on Discord. I do not use the debug camera. I use the regular game camera, which is... the debug camera does give you a really wide view if you kind of want to play that Ant-Man style of play, where you're just, like, super far up and the characters are all ants and you can't really see the cool effects. I know that's arguably more competitive in many circumstances, but myself, I actually prefer to, like, really see the characters and the interactions and all that. Even though it is a little bit detrimental in terms of like mass battlefield control, I like it quite a bit. All right, so we're rejoining now. It's go time, hopefully. Yes, good, Anakin, good. Pierogi. I love me some pierogi. What are you talking about, buddy? All right, so we're loading in. The boys are back in town. It seems to be less laggy. They both reset their routers. Hey. Perfect. Same armies. So we'll have them go in with the same armies here and Alturf outskirts. And we will make sure they change it to the appropriate map. It seems like there's a little bit of like delay in the chat, but hopefully that's not going to be an issue here. What factions do you think have the best matchups overall? Well, there's a couple factions that don't really have terrible matchups, like Lizardmen, for example. They don't really have any bad matchups. Like, I think everything for them is doable. Whereas there's some factions like that just have wretched matchups that you just like, you can win, but it's very, very like down, lopsided. So it's hard to say. Yeah. Lizardmen are very, very tough though. I mean, learning them is strong for sure. Let's hope for the best. The Dark Crystal memes? I watched the first episode of Dark Crystal. I haven't really got... Yeah, no problem. They're just saying that they might have a chevron slightly different on like an Orc Boy or something, and that doesn't matter. Yeah. And also, yeah, debug camera can clip through the bottom of the earth, which is, it does. For the sake of like casting replays, that can be a little bit haggard if you're like debug camera and like you go through the earth and it's just like looks all janky and like artifacted and all that stuff. So yeah, for kiting like style of play, I think that the debug camera is quite good. Like you can have that big overhead kind of macro perspective, and you're going to be able to get some pretty good orders in there. All right, so far so good. We're loading in, no drama yet. Wow, they loaded in incredibly quick. So I think we're onto something here. It's really just going to be an issue of the connectivity here as we get into this game, and it looks pretty good. Like as I'm mousing over the units, it seems okay. A slight bit of lag as they do kind of get things going, but both players kind of know what to expect now a little bit since it is the second match. But okay, perfect. That seemed to solve everything. They both reset their routers and we switched the host, and I think we're okay. So for the Army of the Greenskins, we'll take a look at them. In the front line, it's going to be Orc Boys. Interesting pick. I mean, they're shielded, so if there is some, annoying skirmishing from the Norskers, I guess it could be something. But the Orc Boy pick is a little bit interesting to me, but nonetheless, I mean, they have okay combat stats. They can fight Marauders, but anything greater than that, they will get crumped themselves. In the secondary line, he has his hard hitters, the Savage Orc Biggins, a nice dual-purpose unit against, some of those large threats of Norsca, against Mammoths, Skinwolves, Fimir. However, they do lack AP, but they still do a pretty good job. They hit very hard, their base weapon strength is really high, and their melee attack is quite good. So getting these guys buffed by Wa and Bonewood Staff on Wurzog is going to be very, very strong. So he's got that. He's got a Giant. He does also have the Rusty Errors, Trolls. Troll tools are going to be paid, to say the least. I do actually like Trolls. Now, Trolls actually perform very well against standard Fimir. The issue with Trolls is, of course, is terror routes and their leadership and things like that. But if Norsca doesn't bring a bunch of Javelins and whatnot, the Trolls are actually going to be quite good. So I love the Troll pick here from Vicious Satsuma. That's pretty much it for his force, and he does have that huge skirmishing core of the Forest Goblin or Goblin Wolf Rider Archers, so they're going to be riding on those wolves, riding dirty. And for the forces of Von Karstein, a little bit more, straightforward here. It's just going to be just moving forward, just grinding out the opponent here with the Berserkers and Fimir. And for anyone who's new to the game, this is actually a pretty strong combo. Basically, use the Fimir to sunder the armor and just hit hard as is. And then the Berserkers are going to be much more efficient against the de-armored targets, which is quite cool. He's got a Mammoth as well, Big Papa Mammoth. Wolfric's going to be pushing forward. Marauder Hunters are a nice niche pick against like Ragnarok Spiders, because sometimes Greenskins will come in with the Ragnarok Queen or something like that. It can be quite strong, so I like that. He's got Miststalkers. He's got same combination on the other side. It looks like he does have a Firecaster as well, and in the back we have some Spears, so we do have Marauder Spearmen. Over here in the forest, we do have the Vanguard from the Norskins. It's going to be Norscan Warhounds and the Beast of Tashnar, just going to be probably going after Goblin Archers and threats like that. However, what's cool about Satsuma's army is he doesn't really have too many soft spots. I mean, he does have the Rusty Arrows here in the back, but he doesn't have to worry about protecting a lot. He definitely has battlefield control here with these Goblin Wolf Rider Archers. So we're getting some pretty good skirmishing. Just shooting in there, doing a little bit of, spanking and poking, and the Marauder Berserkers are certainly taking a bit of damage. You can see they're getting kind of chipped down here. And the other ones are going to be shooting in the front here. And how much damage have these Berserkers taken? No models lost, but they've lost about 10% of their HP, which is nothing to sneeze at. That's really going to help out the Orcs, because those Berserkers are going to be the breadwinners against this infantry corps. Now, my favorite thing actually about the build from Satsuma is going to be the Giant. I think the Giant is a really cool kind of surprise pick here, because I don't think a lot of Norscan players are going to be bringing Javelins in this matchup. So if you do come in with a wild Giant pick, I feel like you can actually get some pretty good value. And again, guys, apologies about the lag. Hopefully it'll subside over the course of the stream. I think one of the players is having some sort of connectivity issues or something, but it's certainly better than it was before when we first loaded in here. So the Giant Company going to be moving forward. Let me make sure they have no issues. No, just saying good luck, have fun. And here comes the first of the Orc boys. Berserkers are really buttered up, and the Giant's going to be getting some big old clobbering time in there most likely. But no, Berserkers are falling back, but they're still taking a ton of firepower. And I would say the Greenskin skirmishing has been highly effective so far. One group of Berserkers is at half health. Fireball's coming in as well. It looks like it's going to be going after some Trolls or Wurzog. But Fireball has been heavily nerfed in the Hunter and the Beast DLC, which is good. I'm certainly, glad it got nerfed, and I think it deserved it. And it looks like Wulfric's also going to be charging in. Wulfric, though, is charging in near the Giant, and the Giant is kind of a counter in a way. So perhaps Wulfric would want to avoid the Giant, but looks like he's just going in deep and, wants that fight. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, the wall is pretty big for sure, but the skirmishing has been very, very strong. And it seems like we are having some connectivity issues once again. And yeah, unfortunately. Somebody mentioned that Von Karstein may be having some issues before, but yeah, we'll give it a chance. We'll see how it rolls. Maybe it'll subside or get better over the course of the stream. So Savage Orc Biggins and company are going to be in reserve, and Orc Boys are going to be piling in, and it looks like there is going to be a standard die or fighter die popped, which is going to get melee attack. In the back, a nice little brain bust up is able to hit the spears, but more importantly, it triggers the Bonewood Staff. So whenever Wurzog casts a spell, his Bonewood Staff gives the entire army pretty much melee attack. So you can see the Giant here is at 98 melee attack. The Orc Boys are going to be at melee attack in the 60s. It's just a massive, massive kind of a power spike. In the back, Von Karstein is going to be dropping a Burning Skull, it looks like. So the Burning Skull is going to be coming down the Goblin formation and the Warlords boys, but Vicious Satsuma is able to very easily dodge that. So very, very nice dodge there. He's able to get out of there. And yeah, life's good. Life is good for them. Now in the front line, the Trolls have piled in. You can see that Vicious Satsuma, his Orc boys, and his Trolls are basically just taking these Fimir to Pound Town. And like I was saying, Trolls are a pretty good answer against Fimir. I mean, Fimir have pretty good melee defense, but Trolls with Wa and all those force multiplying effects, plus Savage Orc Biggins also piled in. I think these are Savage Orc Biggins, are going to be able to kill the Fimir very quickly. So far the Greenskins, I would say, are in a very advantageous state. Now in the back, there's some light skirmishing going on. Norscan Warhounds are trying to chase down some of the archers and the Goblin Wolf Rider, kind of goon squads out there, but not having the most success. Wurzog here also is able to get an Effigy of the Git, which is a great cast right there. Pins him in place, keeps him from surging into the back line, but it looks like Norsca, yeah, they're kind of getting crumped on the flanks here. Berserkers in the middle are kind of beat up, and now the reserves have come in. They're very fresh. The Giant's pinned in place. It's taking missile fire, but also the Giant's going to be coming in with 78 melee attack against the 61 melee defense, which is still quite good. But Wulfric is definitely having a bad time. It looks like Vindictive Glare or Gaze of Mork is going to be going down as well on Wulfric. Does a little bit of damage, but not the most, but still everything counts when you're facing off against such a colossal beast. Now over here on this flank, you can see the Northkins have been completely wiped. I mean, just completely run over here. And you can see that Savage Orc Biggins and the Orc Boys are going to be piling in as well. And the Fimir Warriors are fighting against Trolls, and it looks like also to AP Loonies here, so they're going to be poisoned, and not a great situation for the Fimir. Now the Greenskins, for the first time in the game, actually pull ahead on the Mouths of Power here. So you can see Wulfric is kind of getting gorilla pounded right here, but it looks like he's kind of rotating over to the strong side of his formation. So realizing that this portion of the battlefield is basically lost, he grabs Wulfric, he runs over to where he still has some support in the form of Berserkers and a Bale Fiend and some Hounds and Fimir, but I feel like the Greenskins are just crumping away, and now these Savage Orc Biggins, who are full health, they must have been a little bit kind of offset here, are going to be charging in and just giving the dirty, dirty business to these guys. So those Berserkers are going to get killed incredibly quickly. Looks like a nice little Burning Head might be coming down from the Bale Fiend. Yeah, it looks like the Bale Fiend is going to be trying to roast some of the Savage Orcs here, but is it a hit? And it looks like it's a pretty good hit. 7,500 HP is going to be taken down to, let's go ahead and see here in a second, about 7,000. So it does about 400 damage, give or take, 3 or 400. Goblin Wolf Rider archers are coming back in. Those little Trolls have just been cackling this entire game, and the problem with this is now that the Fimir are breaking, they could potentially come back, but Vicious Satsuma has all these pursuing units. The Goblin Wolf Rider archers can simply chase them off the battlefield, and it's basically going to be Wulfric versus the world. Now again, I think the Giant has really been an MVP for sure. The Giant here has just been pound-tounding these guys, clubbing the Fimir, none of which are the Great Weapon variant. He has tons of support on the ground, and Wulfric just really hasn't been able to find a home this entire game. He's been trying to get into the juicy parts of the army, but he's been pinned down by the Giant, he's been pinned down by Effigy of the Git. He hasn't really been able to kind of just ram through things like he wants to be doing. Now, as far as kills go on Wulfric, it's probably not the best. I would imagine he probably has, like 50, 60 kills, so it's not terrible. I know, this match would have been super fast without the lag. It would have been like 4 minutes long. And again, my apologies, guys. It's, it's the nature of the beast when you're pulling players from every corner of the earth, including myself, of course. We're connecting from 2 continents, and yeah. So here, Fimir are going to be getting doggy-piled. Miststalkers here are fully surrounded. There's Trolls, there's Savage Orc Biggins, just a bunch of natural counters in here. The Giant's easily going to be killing this Bale Fiend, just clubbing him, just getting in there with his big old walloping stick. And looks like Wulfric here is going to be getting blasted by the Wa magic of Wurzog. Some Fimir are going to be coming back in, but that is going to be army losses here in the first game. Yeah, it is a bit of a slideshow. My apologies, guys. It's, not much you can do, but we still want to give these players the opportunity to compete, even if they don't have the best internet connections. That's going to be game one for Vicious Satsuma, a very strong greenskin build. And, you know, it used something that's very unorthodox. We got to see a giant, and we saw how effective it can be against Norsca, who, and, you know, the thing is, like, you have to look at things in the circumstances of the match, right? Like, a giant, you'd normally be like, oh, Norsca has javelins, why would I bring a giant? But Norsca usually isn't going to bring javelins against greenskins, right? So I think that, you know, that really kind of the mind games of that is quite solid. So game one is going to be going to Vicious Satsuma here. So let's go ahead and do this, and do this, and this. Voila. And good to go. All right, so game two. Not sure why lagging, but sorry. My connection seems good. Yeah, I just did a test of my connection, my internet speed, and it seems really, really fast right now. So I'm not sure what would be causing that, but I mean, I know there's more variables than that. So River Amixon is going to be the next map. Next map. So now Vaughn picks and bans. Double ban. Thank you, Wicked. Much appreciated. I don't know. It's our, like, best matchups overall is a very, like, I mean, I guess to answer your question, that would be what factions don't have bad matchups, and that would probably be Lizardmen. I mentioned it earlier in the stream. I think Lizardmen are a faction that just, like, have pretty good matchups across the board, so. So let's see. So Mr. Quantum says, Turin, do you think they'll add Keeper of Secrets? Yeah, for sure. Like, I think in game 3 they'll probably have like all the greater demons. They'll have like the Great and Clean one, Keeper of Secrets, the Lord of the Change, or whatever the hell that big turkey is called for Tzeentch, and they'll have a Bloodthirster. They have to. I mean, they'll probably be on the same power spike and power level as like a character like Kolek, I bet. Like, they'll have like unique abilities and things like that make them pretty good. Here we go. So Von Karstein picks Empire and he bans Dwarves, and oh, so we're gonna get Empire. Now, I wonder if any of these fine gentlemen have gotten Gotrek and Felix yet. That'd be interesting to see today. Scuttlefrog, right on, man. Oh my God, M Bison. Are you guys talking about Street Fighter? You guys are going back in time. So second match, guys. Currently Vicious Satsuma up 1-0 in this best of 3. And the winner of this series will be going on to the finals to face the winner of our second best of 3. Bretonnia versus Wood Elves in campaign. I mean, Wood Elves are actually one of the harder factions to fight in campaign, because basically what makes Elves hard to play in some respects is like being able to micro all of your very squishy units that if you lose, you potentially lose the game. But in campaign, the AI just runs them all in like a million different directions, and like it's just really hard to actually like chase them down in campaign. Wood Elves are very strong in campaign in large scale battles. Like in smaller battles, it's not too bad, but once you get really big and thick, it's a nightmare for sure. It is a nightmare. A lot of the eastern part of the US is having lag spikes. Ah, I see. Well, I'm in West Coast, so oh, I don't know why I can see his army. So usually I can't see the army unless I click on it. So there we go. Screen blocker's up. Oh, he just switched his army again, so it does not matter. It seems like Vicious Satsuma actually has a ton of armies ready. He's like cycling between armies for the Beastmen against Empire, and they all seem very good, actually. I think demons will have a binding mechanic. They're probably going to crumble, because like in lore and as well in, you know, situations like that, the demons are, you know, they kind of fade into the warp, right? They don't just like, usually they're not going to remain there. They just disappear and fade into the warp, so. Turin, have you tested warp fire throwers recently? I haven't, Valnir. I have not. Even against armor. You know, I've always hated flamethrower units. Like, I always felt like, why would you take those when you can take Rattling Gunners who have better range and kind of accomplish the same purpose? Or Giselles, right? So, we have Vicious Satsuma on the Beastmen and Von Karstein on the Empire, the classic matchup. He says, always love to see them, says Von Karstein. Very, very cool. Yeah, the Wood Elf campaign mechanics really suck. It's like it's a miserable campaign. Like the Amber mechanic is terrible. Oh God, it's such a drag. It's like with every other faction in campaign, you get to like have your cool units and just recruit them. But with Wood Elves, it's like, oh, do you want to win the campaign or do you want to have fun units? Yeah, so it's very strange. I know, Samuel Christensen. I had to deny that. Marcus is hogging all the Amber. I love that, Wicked. That's pretty good. So Empire versus Beastmen. I don't know if we're going to see wagons. Yeah, Wicked, you guys have Google Fiber in Colorado, right? What are your Wicked D? What are your upload speeds, man? Like your upload and download speeds. I'm quite curious about this actually. So would I main? I'll definitely play a metric ton of chaos, but honestly, I really want them to add Kislev. I feel like that'd be really fun as well. Robert King, probably not today, because usually after the streams I like to, you know, do some other stuff. But if you hit me up in the next couple days, sure. All right, so the players are finalizing their armies. We are on River Amixon. Von Karstein is ready. The Beastmen are ready. And here we go into Game 2 of the Eternal Challenger League Season 3, Qualifier 2. Nailed it. We got it. Yeah, Wood Elves in the late game. Yeah, I guess you can have 20 stacks of Way Watchers. That is true. And they're going to be upgraded by campaign buffs as well, so you can get a lot of work on those guys. All right, guys, so as far as the matchup goes, typically what the Beastmen do is they just go super wide, use a bunch of Gore Herds, and then they use Razor Gore Herds and Centaurs to deal with the Empire Cav, and they just kind of swarm. Now, Empire, I feel like you're usually going to be seeing Demogryph Knight Hammer squads, and what I mean by that is 2 Demogryph Knights, Royal Altdorf Knights mixed in with a Warrior Priest and Karl Franz, and you have to like kind of sweep the Beastmen out of your back line with terror and just like hard punch. It's relatively difficult. I actually think that the Beastmen have a pretty good matchup here, but that's just my opinion. So that is just my opinion. Man, Wicked, that is intense. That is some serious internet speed. Yes, I did play football in high school, Jake. Yes. So, Parazen, this is the second match in our first best of 3 between these two fine gentlemen, between Von Karstein and Vicious Satsuma. So it's going to be Empire. Oh, the Volkswagen is actually a pretty cool pick here. Volkswagen is very, very tough to take down. Beastmen do not have the best missile play, so they have to swarm him, which is what he wants. Grand Soul Fire Bombardment, he causes terror, and yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun, actually. Quite excited for this. So on that note, let us go ahead and take a look at the forces of the Empire. So here in the front, we have Volkmar the Grim on his Pimp Wagon. And yeah, I mean, he's pretty solid. Grand Soul Fire Bombardment actually does a ton of damage now. I mean, the effect radius is quite small, but if he does get zerged, he can do some work. We also have a meme tank. So the meme tank is, you know, I actually think it's okay here. It causes terror. So having these like 2 terror causing, you know, monstrosities here, these constructs of the Empire, I think could actually be quite pertinent here. So we got 2 of those bad boys. And it looks like there's going to be an Amber Wizard who's going to be summoning Manticore. So he's pretty much going all in on that, like terror kind of routing here of the Beastmen. Granted, there is kind of an argument to be made for bringing a Life Wizard here to heal up Demogryph Knights plus the Steam Tank. Steam Tanks just get so much value when you heal them. So it's hard to say. I mean, both angles are quite good in my opinion. Now for the front line for him, it's going to be a combination of, I think these are Free Company Militia. So it's going to be Free Company Militia, Sigmar Sons, Flagellants, mostly Unbreakable Troops, and, you know, just kind of the, it looks like the ROR over here as well. No, just regular Free Company Militia. In the back, we do have the Huntsman, and it looks like it's going to be the regular Huntsman. Again, a little bit of lag, unfortunately, so, yeah, it's really a shame. It's really a shame. Oh, yes, the Screen Blocker. Classic Turin, yes. Screen Blocker's coming up here. Please, I'm too weak. What army? It's going to be the White Wolves. Now, I think Huntsmen are pretty good against Beastmen. There's a lot of good targets on the Beastmen roster. However, I don't think you really can't bring too many missiles against Beastmen, especially if you've invested this much money in a Steam Tank. So you're not going to have that much battlefield control. So the Huntsmen, though, just having one group of them plus a couple Free Company isn't that big of an issue because Free Company themselves can actually fight okay. Yeah. I'm glad you guys like it. Yeah, I really do think the Steam Tank is not bad in this matchup. Now for the forces of the Beastmen, it's going to be Harpies over here. It looks like pretty standard stuff. People just love to use Ungor Spears in the front, and he's pretty much vanguarding like most of his army. It's going to be Ungors and Gore Herds kind of mixed into the front line. Here we have a massive kind of flank of Centaurs. 2 with Throwing Axes. Now the Throwing Axe Centaurs are going to be an MVP here. They are going to be very good against the Steam Tank as well as Volkmar the Grim, so he needs to make sure he doesn't lose those guys. Otherwise, he might just grind endlessly against Volkmar and that Steam Tank and just not be able to take them out. So we do also have a couple of Poison Warhounds in the back, and the rest of the beasts who aren't able to Vanguard. This is like the Losers Club here. They're not able to push out. It's going to be a Beast Lord with the Horn of the First Beast. We have a Wild Shaman for Traderkin, and then we do also have a Shadow Shaman, and it looks like he has Enfeebling Foe and Melkos. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that lovely screen blocker, and we got a bunch of pigs here in the back, and that's it. So Satsuma's army is pretty well equipped for sure. The Razor Gore Herds actually can do okay damage against Steam Tanks. Steam Tanks only have 10 melee defense, and Razor Gore Herds have 24 melee attack. So if they're able to get a surround and not get terror routed off like instantly, depending on the circumstances, they can actually really drag down a Steam Tank. So yeah, the Vanguard deployment quite sneaky up here, but you know the Empire is basically just going to have to turn and react here rather quickly. That's a Grudgeon. The 40K tournament went quite well. Yeah, I was actually able to win that tournament. It was a small one. There was only 14 people in it, so it wasn't like a major GT or anything like that. But yeah, it was still fun. So the Steam Tank here going to be taking its first pot shots downtown into the Beast Lord. I'm not sure where the Beast Lord's over here, because I could have sworn he was like up on the hill, but... Anyways, the forces of the Beastmen are going to be collapsing down the hill onto the flank of the Empire, but the Empire like is probably happy about the situation, like them being over here, because now they can pretty much just acknowledge there's probably not going to be threats from this side, and they can just rotate their entire army to face off against the Beastmen onslaught that's going to be coming down. It was a good picture. The stank is definitely scary here. The terror and just kind of that presence, and it also, you know, is pretty good up close, like when it's just running over Beastmen troops and things like that, but... Not to say the Beastmen have answers for all this. They have Razor Gore Herds, they have throwing axes. I think both players have the capability of winning this game based on what I see in their armies. I don't think either of them are like, oh yeah, they have no chance, they picked bad. I think both armies actually can do pretty well here, but yeah, a little bit laggy unfortunately, so shame. Well, Steam and my internet. Shame on, well, Steam and my internet provider, he says. Oh, Von Karstein. Yeah, what can you do? We will see. Hopefully it passes. Yeah, they're just talking about the lag, so... Von Karstein saying it may be his internet provider. It's okay, though. We'll get through this game. So here's some Spearmen and some Flagellants are going to be turning about face, and you can see that the Free Company Militia might be running up to get a couple pot shots, might be going after Ungor Spearmen herds and things like that, so yeah, they'll be able to kind of poke those guys. I think the Ungor Spearmen, of course, are shielded, so it's not going to be the most cost-effective fire. Plus, he also has to make sure he doesn't overextend these Free Company, because pigs and Centaurs are going to be rushing out of the forest, and it does give him kind of a free pick there. In the meantime, the Beast Lord and company have run into the far forest on the backside, the Harpies, and we do also have a Beast Lord here who's camping out in the trees. Probably just going to be waiting for the main army to get in position before they do push forward, so... I know. There's nothing you can do, though. You know, I want to give all these players a chance to compete, and they don't lag all the time, so it's just like, you never know. give him the fiber internet from Colorado. So here in the front, Spearmen are going to be surging in. The Destroyers of Drakwald, the Blackhorn's Ravagers, are going to be getting ready. And the White Wolves, not too many targets yet. I mean, Centaurs will probably be their best choice. The White Wolves do have pretty good combat stats as well. They have 36, 32, 28, so if they have to fight Centaurs in melee combat, they can. Vicious Satsuma is going to be surging forward with a pretty aggressive Beastman army. The rest of the Empire, slightly out of position. Volkmar the Grim should definitely be over there right now. But Centaurs and whatnot are probably just going to be piling in on the flanks, I would imagine. What do we have as far as counterpunch goes? Of course, we do have this Amber Shaman, the Amber Wizard, and the Demogryph Knights, which are not halberds, actually. So he didn't bring the anti-large Demogryph Knights. I would really expect Royal Elter Griffites, like in a Terror build like this, like just kind of a, I think paying a little bit extra for the Terror is going to be extremely worth it, since you have so much already. I think that's going to be interesting. Yeah, we'll see. So in the front, Centaurs are going to be slamming in. A bit of a tough situation for Von Karstein, taking this blow right in the face immediately. The Centaurs are able to get on some missile units. Granted, they are Free Company Militia, so they're not going to be super squishy. Now, pulling back the Centaurs before the meme tank gets there could be a pretty good choice. The Pig Herd sees an opening here, so it looks like there's a pretty solid little opening for the Pigs, and they might just take a huge fight against Demogryph Knights. Now, these dummies will still do very well. The Pigs are large, but honestly, like, the stat line of these Demogryph Knights is pretty good, and yeah, I don't think they want to get mixed up with the Pigs, because Enfeebling Foe would probably come down from that Bray Shaman. Now, as far as the mainline fighting goes, some Centaurs really get beat up. A really nice Flock of Doom coming in here from Von Karstein. He's able to pretty much hit all these troops and get some great value there on that bacon. But mind you, the troops that have been sent in so far, mainly the chaff, it's mainly like Ungors and things like that. The goodies haven't really kind of engaged yet. Now, over here on the flank, we have a big old haggard blob. Oh my god, those pigs are just feasting on the souls of those flagellants. And we do also have the Demogryph Knights who are fighting. Now, the Demis are going to be fighting against the Razor Gore herds, and they've gotten a fair amount of kills. This is actually a great situation for the Empire. I think the Empire is actually in a relatively dominant situation right now. And that Banishment as well is going to be extremely destructive. Like, they were just super ugly blobbed up on those guys, and it's going to be going into those piggies. Flagellants are pretty much wiped out. There's only 14 models left. Now, the Beast Lord in the back has jumped onto the white lines. Looks like he's going to be getting in there pretty good. He needs to be careful, though. If he gets surrounded by Demogryph Knights, that could be a dire situation, but he's just going to kind of drift into the front line where he does have some support. But like I was saying, guys, the pigs were able to do some pretty substantial damage against those Demis. You can see the Demis lost the model and a fair amount of HP, so those pigs definitely paying their dues so far. But now the good troops are coming in, the Ungors and some of the more hard-hitting guys. Centaurs with throwing axes have been pulled out of the forest here, and they're going to be jumping in and probably throwing their throwing axes at either Volkmar or the wagon. And we do also have the Razor Gore herds, the Centaurs, who are going to be jumping onto these Free Company Militia, which is pretty much free real estate at this point. So they're going to be coming in. Yes, here it comes. Yeah, Demogryph Knights with Lances aren't a terribly common pick, but there are matchups in which they can be okay. I prefer the Halberd variant. I just think that having the bonus versus large, like, it's the benefit of bringing the Lance variant is negligible in my opinion, but there are circumstances in which, like, bringing those can be pretty good for sure. So here in the front, the Razorgore Goon Squad, well, Razorgore Chariots, I should say, the Beast Lord and the Shaman. Ooh, the Meme Tank's coming in. The Meme Tank might be able to get a terror out here. Centaurs and Throwing Axes are throwing in, and the Empire Army is actually starting to fold in some respects. The Demographic Knights are a little bit mugged up here by Hounds, and Volkmar the Grim, though, I mean, that's the thing. Like, most of the army for the Empire is invested in the Steam Tank and Volkmar, and they could potentially get some huge terror outs. Baconators are going to be charging back in against Volkmar, certainly going to be helpful there, and Harpies in the back have attacked the White Wolves, and they're getting some really good damage. I mean, value across the board, but the Empire is counter-punching pretty well with the Feral Manticore. He is able to push off the Bray Shaman. How long do we have? Oh, he's going to disappear. So the Bray Shaman will come back in a moment. He's actually just terrified, so he's going to be back in business. Now, the Beast Lord here is going to be fighting in the center pocket, kind of helping some of the chaffy units like the Spearman herds and whatnot. He's up to 57 kills, which is quite good. You guys can see a Traderkin going down as well. But yeah, the hard thing is going to be dealing with these big terror-causing monsters. But this pig herd, guys, is really, really ready to go. I mean, the Razorgore herds, they're going to be able to surround that Steam Tank. Centaurs with Throwing Axes are an excellent tool as well. So honestly, probably focusing down the Meme Tank would... I don't know, Volkmar or the Meme Tank? Volkmar heals, the Meme Tank does not, so like moving the Meme Tank, yeah, that terror is so good. I mean, he's able to terror out off some spears right here. Now, as far as what troops they have in the wings, it looks like there's some Centaurs who've been left idle back here. A second Manticore has gone down, or is this going to be the same one? I think it's going to be the same one. A little bit of lag here, guys. Hopefully we can get through this game without anyone crashing. It's not like the lag that crashes your game, it's like the lag that just makes it like miserable, you know? Yeah, and the Feral Manticore here is... Oh, this must be another one. So it looks like another Manticore was summoned, actually, by the Empire in the meantime, since we last looked. And he's actually going to be chasing off that Bray Shaman, who is shattered, mind you. Now, for the first time in the battle, the Empire is ahead, but they do have Manticore summons, and that really kind of falsely inflates the balance of power. Oh, that might have been the same Manticore. I could have sworn it was actually about to disappear before. Maybe some sort of witchcraft, but... So the Steam Tanks here are taking a lot of Throwing Axe fire. Volkmar the Grim and everyone are being attacked, like, heavily by these pigs. And once the Manticores do disappear, the balance of power will go back to the normal for the Beastmen. Now, that's something you usually see on the other side of the coin. You see the Beastmen having the advantage in that respect, but yeah. And don't worry, guys. I'm sure the next two players won't have the lag issues, and perhaps once we remove this equation here, having these two players face off, it will, be a little bit better. So Demogryph Knights on Lances have pretty good AP values nonetheless. It's just they lack the bonus versus large. They have better general stats than Demogryph Knights. That's usually how it is, right? Something with anti-large isn't going to have as good general stats, but it relies, of course, on the bonus versus large. So, all right, so yeah, who knows? They're saying, who knows? More than Free Company Militia here, pretty much offline. I mean, they're being attacked by the Beast Lord. Demogryph Knights on Lances here, I can't even really mouse over them, just because of the lag. 58 weapon strength, which is, of course, quite good. And their AP values are 39, which is really, really solid. Now, the Manticore is going to be jumping on the Beast Lord as, like, we get another slideshow effect there. This Feral Manticore is going to be getting pinned in by Centaur, so really good play there by Vicious Satsuma. He's able to actually free up the Lord here by pinning in the Manticore. A ton of Flagellants left, but if it's just Flagellants left, if the Meme Tank and if Volkmar the Grim fall, like, this Flagellants will basically just get cycle charged by Centaurs into the Shadow Realm. And we still do have the Blackhorns Ravagers, who are going to be very good in the center pocket fight. Throwing Axes and company, how are they doing? Yeah, they need to, like, Vicious Satsuma needs to make sure 100% that his Throwing Axes are going after the right targets. 3 stages of summons. No, I mean, usually it has, I could have sworn it was just like one timer for all of it, but I guess I was wrong. I don't know about the summons. Yeah, this is, like, so good. The Razorgore herds here with surrounds on these, like, low melee defense units is so solid. Volkmar the Grim only has 20 melee defense on his chariot, and, like, he could tear out the piggies off, which is pretty much his only way out. Yeah, and the Empire Army, aside from that, is getting Shrek'd pretty good. The Summon Manticore over here will be disappearing relatively soon. And I think Von Karstein's forces are getting a little bit beleaguered here. We have Razorgores chewing up the Huntsmen. We have a couple tattered spears in the back for the Empire, but I really just don't think there's going to be much. Yeah, it's just, guys, it's like campaign. It's turn-based. Yes. Yes, of course. Of course. I really wish there were dedicated servers, though, for, like, these games. Like multiplayer servers. It's like, in StarCraft, anyone else, they like host the game to kind of resolve the middleman issue. So the Bray Shaman here is going to be dropping Traderkin. Now, Traderkin does some decent damage against single targets, so he is going to be popping that. It does lower speed as well, and it hits the Meme Tank. The Summon Manticore is on the hunt, but it will be disappearing here relatively soon. No, I guess it's on its second tier of summons. Oh, he's taking a little bit of fire from the Throwing Axes. Again, like, I can't tell you how many times in this matchup, like, if you don't save your freaking Throwing Axe ammunition, you use it on suboptimal targets, you're going to have a bad time. Like, these Throwing Axes 100% need to be going after that Steam Tank. Volkmar the Grim in the back might be able to stabilize some sort of an Empire resistance. A nice little Soulfire bombardment right there is going to be hitting those Harpies, and the Beast Lord is just going to be drifting about, just causing problems. And, I mean, despite the ammunition not being used on the most efficient targets, I feel like Satsuma still has a ton of ammo left, and he's going to be able to do some work there. Like, I mean, he still has so much ammo on these guys. Like, a lot here. These ones have a ton of ammo. The Beast Lord here needs to be careful, though, not to get gooned out by this unbreakable Empire squad. Flock of Doom is going to be going down, which does hit all the piggies. And, you know, the Razorgore herds actually do get fended off. Now, this is a point in the game where, like, if you had the Royal Elder for fights, man, oh man, that would be strong. So we have some Ungor Spearman herds who are going to be jumping back in, and now it's going to be more of kind of a pick-apart game. Basically, what has to happen for Satsuma is he has to kind of, you know, try and kite to use his throwing axes effectively against optimal targets and, you know, just kind of win the game that way. Whereas the Empire needs to stay cohesive and stay in a Death Star and just, like, move around and just mow down Beastmen troops. Yeah. We will see. Dedicated servers would be so nice. It'll probably never happen, though, because, like, multiplayer is, like, you know, popular, but it's not, like, super big. Yeah. And you can see here that Volkmar the Grim is going to be pushing in as well. Is he going to make that contact? He does actually hit the Beast Lord. The Beast Lord should fight back, though. With the Horn of the First Beast plus, you know, his decent, you know, AP strength overall, he could actually do some work, but it looks like the Beast Lord might break here. Now, he's turning about, he's fighting, he has stabilized in terms of leadership. Demogryph Knights are fighting the returned Razorgore herds. Demi's pulling a War Wagon. Oh my god, that would be some next level stuff. Centaurs are throwing axes, throwing in. Demogryph herds. Oh my god, just like a herd of Demis just charging. That would be brutal. But the Demis might actually finally be meeting their end here. I mean, 825, they were fighting Razorgores, taking a ton of AP damage. Throwing axes have piled in for the Beastmen, and we have Rampaging herds coming back in. But he really needs to optimize his throwing axe play. Like, otherwise he could still lose this game. Even though it, like, looks like really bad, like, I'm telling you, Beastmen armies can just, like, route, like, the snap of your fingers against, like, a build like this. Yeah, Demogryph Knights, wielding Demogryph Knights. Oh, that's some next level tacticianship. I don't think we're going to be seeing that, most likely. So this Beast Lord is going to be circling about. Has to be careful. Doesn't want to lose that. If the Beastmen take the penalty for having lost our Lord, that could be very, very destructive. But it still looks like Vicious Satsuma is in a pretty dominant position. Volkmar the Grim's at 524. He does have the Jade Griffin to heal, but even still, it's like the Empire army is just being swarmed on all angles. Yeah, I don't think the Meme Tank's going to be able to do it. Volkmar the Grim has 272 HP. The Beast Lord actually going in to try and get a snipe, but he does take a bit of a punch in the face. You can see he does take a solid wallop in there from that Amber Wizard. Centaurs and Harpies are going to be charging in as well. Mustachio Man needs to go down, as Falcon would call him. He needs to get taken out here by these throwing axes because he's, you know, still a powerhouse. So it looks like the Beastman army in the back is actually getting a little bit routed off. A lot of guys are wavering. Volkmar has 85 freaking HP, and the Beast Lord is actually broken. Now, if there is a universe in which this Meme Tank actually wins it, which would be just completely absurd. Bloated Demogryph Corpse. God. And Volkmar the Grim is down, so yeah, he's down now. So now all the ammunition from the Centaurs needs to be used on the Steam Tank. As soon as that's the case, the game will pretty much be over. I mean, there's still a fair amount of beast stuff left, and you can see the Empire army is pretty much like Army Lost and just kind of shattered everywhere else. I mean, a couple Spearmen and Flagellants are still fighting, but Marcus Wolfheart riding a Demogryph Knight, that's some next level stuff. I like that. I like that a lot. Steam Tank piloted by a Demogryph. The fact that Razorgore herds have come back in is pretty big as well. They're going to be able to get in there and get their wild hog tusks and take out the Steam Tank here. Plus, we do also have the Centaurs with throwing axes. They're going to be piling in and, you know, using the last of their ammo. And honestly, they probably have enough to finish the Steam Tank. Why all this happening to me? Poor Von Karstein. So sad. Well, guys, that's going to be a 2-0 victory for Vicious Satsuma. So he's going to be moving on to the finals, and hopefully that'll be the last of the lag that we have over the course of the stream. So let's go ahead and update the scoreboard here. All right, so Satsuma, you're in finals. Stand by to play winners. Von Karstein apologizes for the lag. No worries, man. It's all good. It happens. It happens to the best of us. No stress. All right. The stank wasn't bad there, for sure. So we're going to go ahead and update the scoreboard for now. So let us go ahead and go to the bracket for today. And Vicious Satsuma will be moving on to the finals to face the winner of Chosen One CZ and Pavao. It's going to be quite a bit of fun. So let's go ahead and get this going. So clearly it doesn't really matter who hosts here. So I'm going to host Turin ECL, host game and spectator, because I really don't think it mattered when we switched hosts. And let me go ahead and notify the next players that the match is up. Here we go. All right, so we have Chosen. Cool. So we're setting up the next game. It's good to be Vicious Satsuma moving on to the finals. And yeah, going to be facing the winner of this glorious showdown here. So hopefully we won't have too much lag here in this next match. We can hope. We can hope. And I'll find these guys in the friends list. They're all playing with funny names. And it looks like Chosen One has joined. Apparently he played earlier in the tournament and did quite well, so he's probably very warmed up here. We're just going to put Chosen One because it fits better. I mean, if I put like the full names with all the clan tags, it just gets a little bit kind of convoluted here. I believe that's his opponent's name here. Perfect. And now I just need to find him on the friends list. His name, oh yeah, that's right, he's playing under a different name today. He's Lieutenant Frank Drebin, which I believe is from Naked Gun back in the day. Well, these players are connecting, I think. I think these two are from Poland and the Czech Republic, so this should be pretty good since they're right next to each other. The previous two was Russia and Great Britain, so, and the United States, of course, for my connection, so. But yeah, I think Von Karstein mentioned he was having some issues with his internet, so I think we'll be okay from here on out. We'll see. All right, so all players have been invited. Let me make sure that our friend is here. Cool. So they're going to be joining right now. Shetland Apache says, when you see Morker, just send in Cheapo Cav to die immediately. Waste his summon in 1 minute. Yeah, you can, with like Bretonnia and other factions like that, you could just send in like peasant mobs at him and they just like become, yeah, it's great. Zombies are good for that too. All kinds of good stuff. All right, so guys, we have Chosen One facing off against Lieutenant Frank Drebin, which again is from Naked Gun. Now, as far as the map go, okay, so Chosen, pick and ban, double ban, then alternate. So we are doing double bans. I think that's pretty good in this format because it allows you to play factions like that normally have a lot of counters. Alrighty. Cool. Oh, that's right. I got to pick the map. So the map is going to be Almost Heaven, Alpine Ridge, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Blue Ridge, Alpine Ridge. What's better, a full goblin army or a full skink army? That's kind of hard, actually. Goblins have pretty good support. Like, you have, like, good infantry in the form of some of their RORs. You have nasty skulkers. Full skinks, though, like, are pretty obnoxious as well. But I think probably full goblins would be better. Yeah, that's just my 2 cents. All right, Chosen One and Frank getting ready to go fisticuffs. So first is Chosen, pick, and double ban. No worries, Von Karstein. It happens, man. It happens. Nothing you can do about it. Oh, no one's ahead right now. I just forgot to update the score. Ah. Because that would technically mean the series is over. Which would be some heresy. It is 0-0. This is the second best of 3 of the day. A Dread Saurian. Well, I don't know about Dread Saurian. We're probably not going to see that. So currently we're in the pick and ban phase. Chosen One is going to be getting his business together here. We'll see what he will pick. Don't worry, Will Gargantuan or Garguin. We got you covered. So he's going to pick Dark Elves. He bans High Elves and Empire. Interesting. I don't know how the metagame is as it pertains. I mean, Empire is so much stronger now, but I suppose it's cool to see Empire being banned, right? Because before it wasn't something you would see banned a lot. So he's going to do that. So now we have a pick here from Lieutenant Frank Drebin. And while he does that, I will grab some water. Got to stay hydrated. H2O, guys. Some delicious H2O. Also, we had a donation during the, I missed earlier from Manuel E. Lopez for $2. Thank you, man. Sorry, I missed that. It was during the lag fest. So I was trying to like focus on the game because it was like so choppy and laggy. Thank you, man. And it looks like we're going to have Skaven versus Dark Elves. A classic Total War Warhammer 2 launch matchup. Should be fun. I wonder what we're going to see. I mean, this is a map with a giant hill in the middle, so I wonder if we'll just see like a Skaven bull rush. Just like, you know, doom wheels and hell pits and just like getting in there deep in the melee. I don't know. Hard to say. Demogryph Knights riding the Shredder of Lustria. That's some next level kind of tacticianship there. You will take Skaven. Pick and start when ready. All right, so the players are going to load up here, get their factions all set up here. And we do also have, I could have sworn I just saw the notification for a sponsor. I think we did, but it just hasn't appeared yet. I just saw Palpatine like doing the unlimited power thing, but I didn't see it pop up. So whoever that was, thank you so much. YouTube's just trolling me. Yeah, Dread Saurians unfortunately are very weak. They're just not a great unit. They're overpriced, and I mean, they can be okay in the vampire count matchup, but like even still, it's like I think there's more optimal choices to take. It's a shame, but it's hard to make those big monsters good, right? It's like hard to like balance them correctly. I don't know, maybe just a cost reduction, really. Like, because they honestly aren't any tankier than like a mammoth. They just have like harder punch. I feel like the Dread Saurian should be. So Dread Saurian is very oppressive against Bretonnia in vampire counts. Yeah, I think it's pretty good against vampire counts. Against Bretonnia can actually bring Gotrek now. Gotrek is pretty decent against that foul beast. I think Karl Franz and Deathclaw is fine. You know? I think that's like... I think that meets all the requirements for epicness. So we'll start the battle here as the players get ready. Hopefully there's not going to be any lag. I sure hope not. But they are connecting from essentially neighboring countries, so this shouldn't be too bad. The Dread Saurian. Yeah, poor Dread Saurian. He's just janky. I mean, but honestly, like, I don't know. Like, I would probably never pick the Dread Saurian. Like, even against vampire counts, I think I'd rather just take, like, Saurus Scar veterans or, like, things like that, or Feral Carnosaurs. Like, they're really pricey. What is their armor anyways? I think the Dread Saurian has 100 armor, which isn't bad. All right, guys, second match of today's ECL 3 qualifier is on. Chosen One against, well, we'll call him Lieutenant Drebin today, as that is the name he has chosen. And yeah, it's on. Skaven and Dark Elves, a fun matchup for sure. Skaven have had a couple nerfs in the Hunter and the Beast. Jezzails now have less range, but again, we are on Alpine Ridge, which is a notoriously terrible map for direct line of fire. Catapults can do well in this because, you know, the arc of fire doesn't matter too much here, but yeah, we'll see how this goes. Quite excited for this. Yes, good, Anakin, good. There's just like construction going on outside, just absolute anarchy here in the realm. Like our neighbors are just like constantly doing construction on their house, literally for like a year straight. And it's just like, oh god. So for the Dark Elves, yes, no lag. Praise be to the Dark Gods. We have, or Sigmar. It depends on where you're coming from here. So we do also have Marathi. Marathi here with Soul Stealer and the Heartrender and the Dark Sword. Enchanting Beauty is very, very good against Skaven Death Stars. Like if she goes in, she'll be lowering the melee attack of these Rat Ogres to 8. 8 melee attack. Marathi is a very, very good debuff unit. In the front line, it's going to be Bleak Swords on the flanks. It's going to be Witch Elves and Sisters of Slaughter. So really just looking to grind this Skaven to dust. Not really going to be trying anything fancy, no kiting. Chosen One just going to be coming in deep with these guys and just trying to, you know, get that work done there. Dark Riders here and Dark Riders here to pursue the Skaven back line. A very, very good inclusion. Jezzails, Rattling Gunners, any number of juicy targets in the back line for these guys to hunt down. So I like that quite a bit. On top of that, we do also have a Cold One Chariot. Cold One Chariot here is a nice utility. I mean, you know, against like elite troops and things like that. I mean, even still, it's a mobile threat, right? Cold One Knights here, and I think that's it. I mean, as far as his anti-large, it's mainly the Cold One Knights plus Marathi, but Sisters and Witch Elves actually can drag down like Rat Ogres and can do okay against Hell Pits because they're lightly armored and the DPS of these units is very, very high. So very much like a Witch Elf and Sister army. Now for the Skaven, it looks a little bit more traditional. We have Skaven Slaves in the front with the Chaff, Clan Rats in the secondary, who are going to be supported by a couple of groups of Warplock Jezzails. We have Hell Pit Abomination, and we do also have Ikit Claw on his Doom Wheel. Heavy, heavy metal stuff. Look at this. Ikit's coming in. We're going to be getting Warp Lightning and Howling Warp Gale to pin down flying units. So Marathi could be locked down and sniped potentially. In the back, we have Skaven Slaves with Spears, Rat Ogres to help out with Mass. And that's pretty much it. So very cool Skaven army. Doomwheel is going to be having to do a ton of work here against his infantry heavy army because this Skaven front line is going to fold like a lawn chair against the Dark Elf onslaught. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, poor Shredder of Lustria. I know we're ragging on it quite a bit here. Dark Elves are going to be in with the Vanguard. Dark Riders here, and we do also have some Dark Riders and the Deep Vanguard back here. With good micro, they could get onto the Jezzails, but it's really important for the Skaven here. Like, honestly, he probably wants to fall back here and create, like, a concave here, and then the Dark Elves will have to fold around, and he'll optimize his value from the Jezzails. But, I mean, both players do have to be attackers, of course, so... Cool little Skaven army. Ratsies everywhere. Doesn't look like there's going to be any Lore of Plague, so it's just going to be Lore of Ruin with Warp Lightning. Now, Warp Lightning is going to be really good against the Dark Elves, too. I mean, it does substantial damage against infantry and things like that. I mean, most targets. Warp Lightning is actually a really underrated spell. It's just kind of overshadowed by how good Skrulk is, because Skrulk's nukes are just so good. Like, Liber Bubonicus is insane, and yeah, it's really impressive for sure. That is some delicious water, if I must say so myself. Helped Abomination back here. Not too many good targets. He can go after the Chariot or Marathi, and if Marathi lands, he gets kind of pinned down by the Howling Warp Gale. No, there's no lag. We're all good. We are all good. These two players are not having any lag as they're literally connecting from like just one country over. So start anytime. Good sportsmanship all around. The staple of the Eternal Challenger League. One of the most important factors. If there's ever a hint of any bad sportsmanship, the karate chops shall be swift. Over here, looks like we have some, what are these, Dark Riders in the forest? Right as you ask me if there's lag, a little bit starts, but I think it's going to be okay. Yeah. Skaven, best faction, best ratlings. They do have the best rattling guns. Come on, stabilize. Seems like a connectivity issue. I don't know, like... Oh, Chosen One is dropped from the game. Someone jinxed it! Who jinxed it? There was zero lag. Somebody came in here and asked if there was lag. Who jinxed it? It's fine, they can just pick the same armies. Stand by. This is just such a pain in the butt. Alright, so let's find Chosen One. Hopefully his internet's okay. Maybe he kicked out the cable. Can we see the creature from under your bed before the stream's over? Oh, you mean Wookiee? Yeah, we'll get Wookiee. So let me go ahead and check and make sure. I mean, Chosen One just played in a tournament all day. All day today, so he should be fine. I know, Frank. You're mirroring the emotions. On the road again. I just can't wait to be on the road again. We'll make him play the same armies, of course. No, don't do that to Robert. No, I was just joking. Alright. Where is he? So Chosen One will be rejoining. Connection the moment the game started. Yeah, it could be the server issues too. I don't know. I doubt it. So he's saying he has no connection. Okay, so Chosen One is saying he's on data of some sort for his internet, so maybe like his data ran out or something. Oh my god. Oh no. It begins, the great internet crisis. God, just give us dedicated servers, please. It's not going to happen. I mean, is that like, for anyone who's in the tech industry or is aware of like the infrastructure required for that, I mean, how difficult would that be for them to create like dedicated servers for multiplayer? I mean, would it be that hard considering there's like barely a, I mean, the multiplayer audience is really small. This is the second best of 3 of the day, correct? So Chosen One's updating his business, and it looks like he's back in. Yeah, I think he just had to switch something with his data, it sounded like, because I think his phone, like, yeah, he ran out. I don't know, it's some sort of a hotspot or something. I just happened to get all of the lag today. All right. And they're ready. Let's get the show on the road. Round 2, baby. I am live streaming for Sigmar. Although my campaign streams don't really have the same lag, right? But if lag wins, I know lag is 3-0 right now. They've won 3 matches. Although that wasn't even lag. That was like a disconnect. Because it seems like his internet is fine when it... Yeah, Yeah, I don't really know the causation. But hopefully they can just set up their armies in the same way real quick and we'll be good. Come on. Believe. We just have to collectively believe and it'll happen. Believe. Servers are quite expensive. A sizable investment in tech. Yeah, it'll never happen then. That's too bad. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like, I wonder if there would be a circumstance in which like a player could like invest in a server just for like events. Like, is there any way I could have a server like just for tournaments and things like that that players could connect to? But I guess that would be just like really complicated, right? Okay. No, it's not lag. It's just one of the players just disconnected because of their data apparently. Yeah, but it seems like it should be fine now. Like neither of these players are having actual lag. Like you'll notice there's no like chops or things like that. So yeah, it's tricky stuff. So again, guys, let's go ahead and rerun the armies here. So for the Skaven, we have Skaven slaves in the front line, clan rats in the secondary. Very standard stuff. You basically throw the Skaven slaves to the wind, let them get run over and munched on, and they always have a good time. Clan rats, of course, will hold a little bit longer, but the Dark Elf army we did see is mostly, Sisters of Singing Doom, Sisters of Slaughter. It's like a hard-hitting army. Like, this is no joke, so we will see how that goes. On top of that, we have a couple Jezzails in the back. Jezzails here are, always solid, but there's not too many good targets, as Dark Elf army does have Chariots, which are an okay target, plus Marathi, but with good micro, Marathi should be able to kind of stick and move and juke a little bit. However, what's really cool about the Skaven army, for Frank Drebin here, is he did also bring the Howling Warp Gale. So Howling Warp Gale pins Marathi, gets Jezzail fire, etc., etc. But he's kind of on a bit of a ticking clock. So for example, like, this Skaven front line is going to get shredded by the Dark Elves, like hard. I mean, Ikit Claw is probably the most helpful thing here, but with all the Witch Elves, if Ikit Claw gets rampaged for like a second and Marathi comes in or some Cold One Knights, he could go down rather quickly. So it's actually a very scary situation here for the Skaven. He has a bunch of Rat Ogres in the back, which is a staple. If you're going to be using any sort of a Skaven gun line, you pretty much always have to have Rat Ogres, because if you don't, the mass of the other characters of the Dark Riders and troops like that will just be able to push through your other Rats, and you won't be able to protect your gun lines. So I like that quite a bit. And so we got Rat Ogres, and it looks like that is pretty much it. So for the Dark Elves, we have Dark Riders, like I said in the previous analysis here. The whole front line is going to be Sisters and the Sisters of Singing Doom also in the middle, so there's going to be some terror right in the center mass of this formation. Marathi with the Soul Stealer and the Doom of Darkness, so really just going to be going for a rout on the Skaven front line, and potentially could happen very quickly. Dark Elves are quite good at that, so... Yes, here we go. Robert, of course you can. You did not deserve such a fate. Yes. Praise Sigmar! He returns. So the battle's underway here. Obviously the Jezzails, I don't know if it's the best map for Jezzails. If I were the Skaven, I might even deploy like really far back here, because the amount of efficiency the Jezzails are going to get, they're not going to be able to shoot much here. Like, they're going to be kind of limited by the line of sight heavily. And the Dark Elves are only going to be taking fire from like the top of the hill down to the bottom. So I would say it's a pretty good situation there. Yeah. Praise be to Sigmar. In the back, you can see Dark Riders for the Dark Elves are going to be perusing around. Rat Ogres and Spears are in reserve. Do the Dark Riders see these Rat Ogres? I think they both kind of discover one another here, but he needs to be very, very quick to make sure. I mean, if the Dark Riders get in the Jezzails and some of those high-value targets in the back, it's pretty much going to be game blouses. Like, he really needs those guys to pay some heavy, heavy dues. At the very least, the Jezzails need to take out the Cold One Chariots, and then from there, maybe kind of pepper Marathi out of the skies. So, Jezzails here, where are they going to be turning and shooting? It looks like the sharpshooters are going to be turning about face, probably to take some shots here at the Dark Riders. Slaanesha's Harvesters here for Chosen One. Actually, we did not see this, guys. These guys are a little bit kind of catty-cornered here, and the Skaven, I don't think, are aware of this yet. It looks like they're not hidden, but for some reason, you can't really see those guys. That is an X factor here. So Chosen One's army taking very little damage on the approach here. You can see the Sisters of Singing Doom are getting poked. Don't you lag on us. Don't do it. Don't give up. Sisters are going to be taking all the focus fire, but these are the least accurate Jezzails I've ever seen. And the Skaven slaves here are going to be getting crumped extremely quick. So here come the Sisters in the front line, or the Witch Elves, I should say. There they are, Sisters. And the Skaven slaves are going to be taking that beating like an absolute champion, getting decapitated and whipped at the same time. Lovely stuff. Now, this is actually a little bit scary for Lieutenant Frank Drebin here. He does send in the Hellpit Abomination, which can get whipped. Of course, it's going to get whipped, but it's going to get Madness of Cain, so that it could potentially get rampaged. Also, in the back, Chosen One is able to get his Dark Riders, and he pushes onto the Warplock Jezzails extremely hard. And they're going to be going down rather quickly. Rat Ogres need to kind of get over there. A little bit of a slow reaction, but here they come. So those guys are going to be jumping over, going after Dark Riders, so well played to the Skaven player, at least getting there before they get fully wiped. Now, in the meantime, it looks like Frank Drebin is doing a pretty good job screening out his other Giselles here, Paval. He's able to get some spears and also some Skaven slaves, so this is a pretty nice little firing pocket, and it looks like they might be shooting up in the sky at Marathi. Dark Riders and Slaanesha's Harvesters are going to be looking for an in here, so he's going to be weaving through the pocket ever so slightly, and then he's going to be turning in probably against the Giselles, I would imagine, but no, he's actually just going to be going after the Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers. Now, we do have a pretty big pit fight here. Marathi does have the support of the Sisters of Singing Doom. A lot of rampaging going down. Cold One Spear Riders do take out Rat Ogres in the front line. Warp Lightning's going down to the front. Things are just getting wild on every front. Very, very quick reactions there from Skaven. I mean, he just did a 1-2 punch. Brass Orb hitting Sisters, Warp Lightning hitting Slaanesha's Harvesters. And, you know, it's definitely kudos to him for keeping the Sharpshooters online. However, this is bad. The Witch Elves here are able to break through the chaff front line, and now they're just going to be doggy piling into the Sharpshooters. They'll rampage them, and that's pretty much going to be a wrap there. So Chosen One looks to be in a pretty dominant position. He was able to grind out those fights. Marathi was able to beat down Ikit Claw. Marathi, of course, has anti-large and armor piercing, and she has the support of Slaanesha's Harvesters. Things are getting really crumped there. Now in the center mass here, you can see the Skaven do have the Helped Abomination, but it's going to be getting just dragged down by the high DPS of the Sisters and the Sisters of Singing Doom. There's going to be rampage effects going down, and Marathi is able to really butter the bread of Ikit Claw. That's going to be a quick game one for Chosen One. Those Giselles were drafted without training for sure. Man, that was a brutal Dark Elf Rush build for sure. I think that Paval's build was a little bit more designed to deal with skirmishing. Like he was like, okay, maybe there's going to be, you know, some more missile play and things like that. But man, that Dark Elf Blitz was pretty nasty. Strong execution for sure. So Chosen One with the victory here in game one as we move into game two, which is going to be, let's find out. Where art thou? Where art thou, maps for the tournament? We're going to be on Central Chaos Base. All right, so let's go up to the top here. No lag, feels good. So Frank, pick, and double ban. All right, so now it's time for Frank to do his pick and double ban. That was fast. That was fast and furious. That'll make up for the lag for sure. Yeah, Giselles are not good on that map, I don't think. Because they're going to have troubles with... They're barely going to get any firing optimization, like I said. Like, they only got to fire from the top of the hill to the bottom, and they barely killed like 6 Witch Elves before they closed in. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to bring a Giselle maybe on a map like that, just bring the Sharpshooters. I think 2 is a little bit harder to protect. Dark Elves are really good at compromising those formations. Like, man, that infantry grind was nasty. Needed more Doom Wheels. Yeah, apparently so, Dov. That was swift and clean, says Falcon. Well, guys, let's see if Paval can come back here in game 2. Frank Drebin. He's going to be on the High Elves, it looks like. And who shall he ban? He bans Bretonnia and Beastmen, and he picks High Elves. Cool. So let's see what Chosen One picks. Yeah, I'll play Total War Troy. I'll at least do like a single campaign. Yeah, it'll be fun. So Gawk Thrim asks, in my 40k tournament that I played in, what was the most fun matchup? So in my tournament, game 1, I played Ultramarines. Game 2, I played against the Tau, who were using the big tuna. They were using that big like 1,000-point battle suit. And then in game 3, I was playing the Ultramarines again. I played 2 Ultramarines. Yeah. But my favorite matchup was against the Tau suit because it was like a super close game. Yeah. Sigmar banned the lag, yes. Yeah, I mean, against the Dark Elf build like that, mixing in like 2 Storm Vermin is just invaluable. Having that armor is really, really nice in the front. I usually do that against Dark Elves anyways, just mixing like one of those guys. It depends though, I don't know. It's Dark Elves have a lot of good tools against Skaven, but had Skaven gone with their own Death Star with like Skrulk and things like that, that could have been a very different game. Demented Frog, thank you for the 20. Awesome streaming as always, Turin. Thanks for streaming those tournaments for us. You're welcome, man. And thank you guys, thank you, Demented Frog, for the very generous donation. And also thank all of you guys for sticking through thick and thin. I know we had some lag issues, but it seems like it's resolved now. And yeah, we should be good. Moving forward. It is time. Thank you so much, Demented Frog. Oh, hell yeah. Chosen One coming in with the Sons of Sigmar, the steel chair. Now, I wonder if he's going to be rocking Gotrek and Felix. Oh, yes. That would be fun. Jabba, you just have to message me in Discord. Yes, correct. And we'll be dropping Discord links over the course of this this stream and whatnot. Poor Stannis. Yeah. Gutter Runners with Poison always. Yeah, Gutter Runners could have been quite good against that Dark Elf build as well. Like if the Rat Ogres can deal with the Harvesters and Dark Riders, and then you just like kite the Witch Elves with the freaking Gutter Runners, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of good options for sure. Both players are ready, it looks like, or at least Chosen One's ready with the Empire. Oh no, never mind. Looks like Pavat was ready. Stone Cold Steve Austin, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was a big fan of him as a kid. Double Hell Pit wouldn't have been that good there, Robert King, because Double Hell Pit is like, what is it going to do against like Witch Elves and Sisters? It's not going to be effective. It's going to get dragged down, especially with Marathi debuffing its melee attack and cycle charging it and like breaking its leadership. I think that what you need against a build like that is like bringing like 2 groups of standard Stormvermin, Lord Skrulk for sure, mixing in a couple of Skirmisher Rats with a bunch of Rat Ogres, like things like that. Yeah. Ogre Kingdom, I hope they come in Game 3. I think that'd be very fun. It's all dark in here. I gotta turn on the lights. I feel like I'm in some like crypt right now. I'm the crypt keeper. So Chosen One making the final touches to his army. Are we going to see the glorious wagons of Sigmar? Probably not. I feel like War Wagons are pretty terrible in this matchup. As a matter of fact, War Wagons just aren't good in many matchups. Undertaker's amazing. Absolutely. Marcus is not banned. No, definitely not. Yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin was the man. Undertaker was always old and flabby. Undertaker's theme was really fun for sure. Like just like the Grim Reaper coming in. Oh man. It's like, oh god, it's the Undertaker. Skaven are not trash tier. Skaven are a high tier faction in my opinion, but it's just the build wasn't necessarily like, you know, suited to the matchup. I mean, it was a good build against like a skirmish build, but against like a rush build, it just wasn't prepared. You are not prepared. Robert King says, Turin, do you think that Total War Warhammer 3 is going to have a hope of getting Nippon or Cathay? No, probably not. My guess is we'll probably have like a Chaos Demon faction for every like... We'll have a Chaos Demon faction. Warriors of Chaos will get like... I bet you the Warriors of Chaos, like Archaon's faction, will get like... They'll get the lesser demons. They'll probably get like Bloodletters, Nurglings, like, you know, Demonettes. But they're not going to get like greater demons or like the top tier demons, like the Beasts of Nurgle and stuff like that. And what'll happen is I bet you they'll have all 4 of the... I bet you they'll have like a Chaos faction for each of the demon ones. And then on top of that, we'll probably get like Kislev because they're at the border there. It's a fun engagement. We'll probably get like Ogre Kingdoms, Chaos Dwarves, things like that. I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, yeah. Limp Bizkit. Oh my God. What are we going? We're going back into the 90s now, huh? All right, guys. So for the Sons of Sigmar, looks like a great cannon is going to be deployed over here. And of course, we're going to have Chosen One on the Empire. And we're going to have the Lieutenant over here, aka Paval here. He's going to be on the High Elves. So one great cannon in the far corner of the map who's going to be teamed up with some handgunners, but it looks like he's just deploying his army anyways. But aside from that, he's got rollouts of Griffites, 2 Empire Knights to cycle charge Spearmen and Infantry, Griffites to fight against, you know, Fireborn. And the rest of the line is actually going to be just Swordsmen and Spearmen. Very, very interesting army. Now, up in the sky, of course, we have Big Papa Karl Franz. And it's pretty much impossible to root against Karl Franz. He's just such a G. Yeah, Jade Wizard and the Warrior Priest for the Demogryph Knight Hammer. This is a really, really popular strategy. You basically run the Demogryph Knights around, you buff them with the Warrior Priest in the main fights, and then you heal them with the Jade Wizard, and it's basically just like a mobile lawnmower. It's very, very strong. Very strong. But aside from that, it's mostly state troops, but you don't need that. Like, High Elves aren't really going to bring elite stuff against Empire, so you can get away with Swordsmen and Spearmen and things like that. One great cannon here, Handgunners, Demogryph Knights, and Empire Knights, yeah, just for battlefield control. And now for the forces of Lieutenant Frank Drebin on the ropes, but certainly not out. Here he comes. So 2 groups of Spearmen. It looks like it's going to be 3 White Lions, which are a great choice. White Lions have great dual purpose in this matchup because they're actually quite good against Empire Infantry with their AP values. I mean, they can't catch them, but if they get forced into a grind, they'll do very well. We do also have a Lore Master of Ho, a Spirit Leech and Earthblood. Not bad. A bunch of archers in the secondary row. Archers, 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 and Spearmen on the flanks. And I really like this build from the High Elves. I think it's incredibly good. He's got 3 bolt throwers in the back. Like, these guys are going to be a great answer against the cannon, great answer against the Demogryph Knight Hammer, and he has Silver Helms, and of course, a Lithanar. Oh man, a Lithanar is actually pretty good at sniping out demi models too. So I think that if you know the High Elves play their cards right, they could potentially get this game. I really, really like this Empire build. Yeah, the Faith Demogryph Knight Goon Squad is quite strong, but I mean, I think that Paval here picked, hopefully I'm saying his name right. Anna, you here? Is she here? Hang on a sec. Oh, never mind. She's not here. I was going to ask her how to pronounce his name. Because it's a Polish name, if I'm not mistaken. Who needs win cons when you have faith? I know. It's true. Yeah, the mobile lawnmower is coming. It's like the it's like Dead Alive, that freaking movie that what's his name did, Peter Jackson, before he did Lord of the Rings, with like the lawnmower. Yeah. The Lithanar is quite a G. I'm excited to see this. I think this is a great high elf build. It can win the infantry fight. It has plenty of answers against the cav. As long as he doesn't like let these freaking eagle claws go down to something silly, he's going to be in good shape. So yeah, just like move up screen. The archers will be able to pepper down the the handgunners in the back. White lines should win this fight. It's a really good build here from the High Elves. Incredible stuff. I mean, the Empire build's really good too, for sure. Franz, like, if Franz is able to get his Death Claws on top of a Lithanar, he'll be able to crump him super hard. So, I mean, there's a multitude of factors for both players. And there's no nets or control for the High Elves in that respect, so, yeah, we'll see. So the Great Cannon is going to be shooting in. High Elves are scooting up with pretty much everything. Demogryph Knights are going to be lurking in the back. Now, as far as range goes for the bolt throwers are almost in that danger zone. Yeah, they can actually shoot now. So here come the first volleys. Going after Empire Knights for now, and some nice juking from Chosen One. Very, very good stuff there. He's able to... yeah. It's Pavel. Yeah, it's Pavel. Okay, so I think I was saying it close to right. Thank you, Falcon. Much appreciated. So, Lithanar getting a couple pot shots, going after some Empire Knights. He is able to take out 2 models here. Obviously, Lieutenant Frank Drebin here, a man after our own hearts. And where is the Lithanar going to go next? Hopefully he doesn't make the mistake of shooting Karl Franz yet, because Franz, I think that is probably going to be juking. Like, he needs to be using all of his ammo on, like, Demogryph Knights and things like that. But honestly, this is kind of cool, too, because he's forcing the demis back here. The demis aren't going to be in combat, like, right away. Now, if the bolt throwers are paying attention, they need to shoot at those Demogryph Knights, like, ASAP. Archers are just going to be focus firing some spearmen. Although, I mean, I guess now it's not a bad idea to shoot against a Lithanar, or shoot against Karl. I mean, he's just kind of sitting overhead here, so he's pretty close by. Bolt throwers are shooting in, going after the Great Cannon, so they're going to be trying to snipe out the cannon piece, which I think is a bit of a mistake. Like, the Great Cannon isn't doing that much damage. I think focusing everything on the Demogryph Knights is better. Spirit Leech is going to be used on the Empire Knights as they do cycle charging in, and the Silver Helms are going to be used on kind of a screening duty here. Now, in the front line, it's going pretty well. Archers are focusing down most tools, but it looks like some Swordsmen and Empire Knights might be able to get in the back line here, because there's only this one Spearman to hold back these Swordsmen, and then there's going to be another push coming in from these Empire Knights on the flank. So it looks like Pavel here... Pavel? Yeah, I always mangle that. We'll just call him Frank Drebin for now until I figure it out. Silver Helms are going to be rotating up around the flank and will be intercepting those Empire Knights. So really good stuff. Demogryph Knights coming in for a huge hammer in the front, and the Soulfire Bombardment is going to be going down, which is going to be huge. Oh, that did so much damage. That did like 800 damage to those white lines there. But the white lines punching back, and the Archer focus fire from the High Elves doing a ton of damage against the Royal Altar of Griffites. Great stuff from both players. Now in the back though, this is where things get ugly. The Empire Knights are going to get a huge freebie. They're going to get onto the Archers, and the Bolt Thrower, just so much damage coming in. And these Silver Helms went the wrong way. They went to deal with Karl Franz and to help out up here, but right now he does realize this. He pulls back, he gets the counter charge, and white lines are also going to be pulled back. So a little bit of a mistake there, but for the most part, his situation's quite good. He's really been able to punish the Royal Altar of Griffites with his focus fire from the Archers. White lines are going to be able to win their most of their front line engagements. But in the back, though, Franz is coming in for that booty. I mean, the Silver Helms here get crumped by Franz and by these Empire Knights. The Reikland Runefang turning the Empire Knights into actually a pretty good unit here. Archers are trying to help out to the best of their abilities, and some white lines are being pulled back, but a Lithanar is in very, very dire straits here. Granted, is this a clone here? Oh, it's the clone! It's the decoy! What a madman. Karl Franz was attacking the decoy. Awesome stuff there from the High Elves. But now the Empire Knights are going to be surging in. Some white lines are there to help out a little bit. Spirit Leech is being used in the back to peel off these Empire Knights with the supporting Silver Helm. So really, really good play from both players so far. This has been a great game. Demogryph Knights are still getting hammered by the Bolt Throwers and actually might be breaking here. 39 leadership, I suppose they're okay. But this is actually a very, very tight game. The decoy play of the gods. Awesome stuff. Now, back here, Lithanar and company are going to be kind of rotating. You can see he's going to be running and shooting. Just needs to stay away from the Franz. And once the mobility gets taken out for the Empire, that's going to be a pretty juicy little situation. But the Warrior Priest and Franz are going to be rather tough to kill. I mean, there's not a bunch of great tools. Oh, but look at this! The Lore Master of Hoth is actually able to capture the Jade Wizard, who's trapped among spears. Oh, 194, negative 78 leadership. Is he going to break? Is he going to shatter? And the Life Wizard for the Empire is shattered there. So it looks like Lieutenant Frank Drebin is coming back hard. Here in the back, he's going to be getting his Silver Helms and White Lines, and he is punishing these Empire Knights. Man, Lithanar is a fun unit. Baited to the extreme. And guys, it suddenly looks like the High Elves are in a relatively dominant position. I mean, Franz is in okay shape, but Spirit Leech is coming in. The Lore Master of Hoth picking off that freaking Jade Wizard was huge. Lithanar is still shooting, has pretty good ammunition. If he could just start focusing Franz at this point. Demogryph Knights are gone, Empire Knights are basically gone, so you just need to go after Franz. Oh, and the Moonbow coming up and tagging Franz right in the dome. But Franz is coming in for that sweet 2-for-1 deal with the Warrior Priest, and this is how the Empire could get back in the game. If Franz and the Warrior Priest are actually able to beat down these characters, that could be really punishing. So White Lions are going to be charging in to help Lithanar. He needs to get out of there ASAP. There's still some bolt throwers shooting. There's one here, but the Empire Spearmen look like they've kind of compromised that position. But so far, the High Elves are actually in a little bit of a better position. And Lithanar is able to get away, it looks like. And if he can finish off Franz, that'll pretty much be game, I think. So Franz has 1,300 HP. Negative 12 leadership on Karl Franz as he's surrounded here by the Silverhelms and company. Lithanar getting those juicy pot shots. But again, Sigmar's Sons have gotten a decent surround on him. And Franz is broken. So are the High Elves going to be able to stabilize this? Loremaster of Hoth can actually heavily beat a Warrior Priest in a duel. He's got that big armor-piercing greatsword with a bonus for his infantry. Granted, he is on horseback, but the Loremaster of Hoth is coming in with the overhand karate chop, and the Warrior Priest is breaking. And with that, guys, it looks like we're getting danger close to army losses here for the Empire. They don't have much left. I mean, mainly just low-tier state troops. So the Royal Turf Gryphites are going to be hammering into the flank over here, but I don't think it's going to be enough stopping power. I think that the Spearmen and the White Lions should be able to polish those guys off. The Lithanar is in pretty good shape. Franz is being chased off, so very good play here from Lieutenant Frank Drebin, chasing down Karl Franz. -8, -12 leadership. The Lithanar is going to be able to snipe the remnants of this Empire army. And man, coming back from the clutches of defeat with a cool High Elf build, a solid High Elf build. It had answers for everything in that Empire army. And man, that was really cool. So that's going to be game 2 going to Pavel. Yes. Great stuff. Lithanar pulling in the W. So basically now it's just Sigmar's Sons at this point. GG. Chosen One says nice build to his opponent. It was a nice build. It had answers for most of those threats. This Lore Master needs at least a name. I know, he took out the Jade Wizard and the Warrior Priest and Spirit Leeched Karl Franz. That guy was a hero. I need a hero. Very well played to both these fine players. And now it is 1-1, guys. Who's going to be advancing on to the finals? This is it. It's for all the marbles. Well, not all the marbles, but it's for like a substantial portion of the marbles. Tower of Hoeth. Great map. The Tower of Hoeth calls. The Tower of Hoeth is where this Lore Master lives. So chosen, pick, and ban. All right. That clone. What's up, Saranska? How's it going? Yes, I know that name better. I do know that name better for sure, man. That was a great game. Frank says, well, after the first match, it's a good win, at least something. Yeah. No worries, man. You're doing good. Very dobja, my friend. Hoeth coming in hard. Chosen One coming in with Skaven. And what are his bans going to be? So he bans Empire and Vampires. Pretty good bans for sure. Chosen One says thought the same about the first game. All right. So Frank pick. Lore Master Jebinar. Turin, mate. What are your thoughts on Knights of the Blazing Sun units? Knights of the Blazing Sun are pretty good. They're a good pick in matchups in which you want shot cavalry, but you're worried about Fate of Buna or Spirit Leech effects, because they're like better than Reiksguard in matchups in which they're going to be taking magic damage because they have the resistance. That's basically kind of the difference maker. Knights of the Blazing Sun are a good unit. I think they're solid. Flagellants with Warrior Priest isn't bad. Yeah, I mean, Flagellant armies are okay. There are matchups in which Flagellants can be very good. So we're going to see what he picks here. I have a super small water cup, so I have to go and get some more. Well, the Gryphites had so many counters. I'm sorry, I can't read your name because it looks like it's, yeah, it's in like, yeah. Gryphites didn't earn their price, yeah. I don't know how to read that, my apologies. What would I pick into Rats? I would pick Empire. I would actually pick, Empire. High Elves against Rats I like a lot, actually, because anyone where I can bring a bunch of like cost-effective bow units against Rats, I love it. And then, you know, the Lieutenant, Captain Frank here, comes in with Wood Elves, which I think is a good pick. Deepwood Scouts, Way Watcher is pretty good against Rat people. Wild Rider's really good. Like, you can blitz them, you kite, like, you have so many options here. So I'm going to ready up, just let the players know I'm good to go. And I'm going to go get some more juice, some more water. That was a great freaking game. That was awesome. Delicious. Delicious. Jabba the Hutt? Yeah, greenskin builds, I know a bunch for sure. It depends on the matchup, man. You have to like give a circumstance based on the matchup, yeah. But there's some really good players in chat as well who can help you with builds if you have questions. If I'm busy. All right, here we go. No dropped frames. Everything is good. Spam Glade Riders. Saranska is an option. You can go. So with Wood Elves, there's so many ways you can play against Skaven. You can go with the classic way, Watcher sniping. You can go with Deepwood Scouts to outrange their guns and take them apart, and then Wild Riders to clean up what's left. I mean, there's a bunch of ways to play. Granted, Skaven have their own tools. Jezzails are quite good here. You just have to have really good buffering and make sure the Wood Elves can't get into that cookie jar too easily. I would definitely bring Skrulk, probably, just to frickin' get the value from Lieber when they come in and punish them. A Lithanar, wicked, dude, I agree. A Lithanar is like Walmart Marcus. Walmart Marcus Wolfhart. So basically, for my tournaments now, we're using the unit caps from Creative Assembly, and then we're also using King's Cup rules. So a slight modification because there are some things, but basically, I just want to start like experimenting with the unit caps so I can give feedback to CA eventually. See what people say. Yeah. Does anyone have tips on Razordons? Says Fallout. I really like them, but yeah. So unfortunately, Fallout Razordons are a pretty terrible unit. I think they need a couple buffs. Like their range is a big deal. You know, honestly, Frank could just go with a Mass Dryad or Mel Gibson Rush. Like that works super good too against Skaven. And it might be pretty good on an open field map like this. Granted, there are like some forests to kind of work with on the flank, so yeah, we'll see. Mass Skaven versus infantry. Well, Marcus has like 2 sniping abilities that actually do a ton of damage, but Marcus is better objectively because he has a net. Like, nets are one of the best abilities in the whole game. So he has an AoE net that like takes no winds of magic. Like, it's just so good. My shiny-headed former roommate. Well, I never lived with Spartacus, actually, if that's who you're referring to. Marcus does not get the clone. I have played a game with Marcus and Illuminarch. It's cheesy. You know, it can... Against good players, you kind of get punished, but if you're just kind of ladder cheesing, it can be okay. But it's not as strong as you think, because Templeoff Luminarch has to worry about terrain. It sometimes just misses. It's like... Yeah, I mean, I think Marcus is a more competitive pick than a Lithanar every day of the week, but a Lithanar isn't terrible. I mean, he's not, like, great, but he did well that game. Anti-Mage, you've not missed a Bretonnian game. Yeah, Lithanar is a little bit more durable in close quarters combat than Marcus. He'll certainly last longer. Skaven Catapult plus Death Star, says Gawk Thim. Perhaps so. Alexander, I don't believe it does. Oh, so the players are asking some questions here. Oh. Good luck, good luck. They're just saying good luck, have fun. What champs? So King's Cup does have a cap on nets. So in tournament play, you can only bring like 1 set of nets. So Marcus, like you couldn't bring Narcus plus like a light wizard in our tournament rules. I don't think you can. I'd have to double check. No, Spartacus and I weren't roommates. He lived down the hall. Yeah, in college. He had hair back then, actually. Spartacus wasn't bald then. Although, I mean, he kind of had like thinning hair on top, but it wasn't like bald. Yeah. But now he's full shine. He's embraced it. Although I want him to do the fire chuck, but I don't think he'll ever do that. Marcus is better than Legolas. I like that, Kelgar. That's funny. All right, guys. Here we are. Showtime. The Battle of the Ages. Game 3 between these two fine gentlemen. Between Chosen One on the Skaven and Lieutenant Frank Drebin, who's going to be rocking the Wood Elves. And it looks like he's coming in with the rock hard Mel Gibson build, guys. Things are looking good. Things are looking good. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Wood Elf. So it's going to be a Mel Gibson rush. He's got Dryads. He's got Mel Gibson, who now has Vanguard. He has Wild Riders and a Branch Wraith as well, who does have Vanguard. Yeah. Basically just Wild Riders and Dryads, just getting in there deep and having fun. I love it. He does have some missile play in the forest. He's got Deepwood Scouts, which are pretty much all you need against Skaven. Deepwood Scouts can Shrek Rat Ogres. They can Shrek Hell Pits. They can Shrek most of the lightly armored Skaven threats. Yeah, they do a good job. They're cheaper too. 2 Dryads here, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, Deepwood Scouts, Dryads, Wild Riders, Mel Gibson, and a Branch Wraith. So very much going to be a mass Vanguard, just right in the face, just getting in there and having fun. So I don't know. Is Chosen One going to be able to stop this onslaught here? Hard to say. I mean, Skaven Slaves aren't going to hold for terribly long in the front line, but in the secondary, he's got 2 Warplock Jezzails. He's got a Hell Pit Abomination, which will be nice. The Hell Pit, you know, is going to be a decent terror factor against, well, Dryads are immune to psychology with their with this ability, so I don't know. I guess it's only, do they have a circumstantial immunity to psych? I always forget this. Is there any, like, no, looks like they're just immune to psychology, so the Dryads aren't going to get terror routed, which is quite cool. But the Hell Pit is going to be really good against the Wild Riders. 2 Jezzails as well to punish the Wild Riders. In the back, he's got Rat Ogres, he's got Clan Rats with Spears, and the Council Guard, another very good pick, and 2 groups of Storm Vermin with Halberds, which will actually hold back Dryads for quite some time. On top of that, he does have a Grey Seer Plague, which is going to be a good pick as well. The Grey Seer is going to be able to, you know, summon some rats and, you know, just run things over and have a good time. It's a good Skaven army. It has more sustainability. It has Clan Vulcan, it has Council Guard, it has Storm Vermin with Halberds. It's like, even though the front line will buckle, it has durability. It can pull forward if need be, which I think is quite cool. And also, we do have a Warp Lightning Cannon. Wood Elves are going to be taking, ooh, this is kind of rough, because, like, deploying over here actually gives the frickin' Skaven, like, more range. Like, if you were in a mass Vanguard right in the face of the Skaven, I think that would actually be a bit of a stronger play. I'm a Skaven slave for you. Oh my god. Yeah. I think Spartacus would look glorious with a Friar Tuck, but he would never do it. He would never do it. I don't blame him. I completely understand. It's not like I'm, like, bitter about it. But I told Italian Spartacus that if whenever there's another Everchosen, if he were to come with a Friar Tuck, so if he just, like, let his hair grow and just, like, obviously kept it bald on the top, which I think it would be anyways, and then just, like, grew it on the sides like Friar Tuck, I would come with a full-on haggard American mullet. Like, I would just go deep, like, the worst mullet you guys could ever imagine. But he has to do the Friar Tuck. Like, I'm committed to this. Like, if he'll do it, I'll do it. There could potentially be some line of sight obstruction on the buildings and the trees and things. I'm not actually sure how these buildings work. They seem kind of like kind of placeholder-ish. Yeah, Dryads do have that immune to psych baseline. I always forget about that because for some reason I thought they were like a frenzy unit for a while. Deepwood Scouts in the back here. Wild Riders just in reserve. So there is going to be a blitz coming in the back. And the rest of the force... Oh! Okay then. So he's moving his whole army. So if he were aware of where they were, the Wood Elves would probably want to deploy back here and just like hit the back line really hard. But yeah, they're going to be crashing in from this angle. Guys, so we have a mass Vanguard coming in from Lieutenant Frank. Things are getting wild. No. I'll talk to this party about that. Because my hair is actually getting kind of long, so I could probably have a mullet in the next 2 months, like 3 months. Yeah, just like shave the front and then... Oh my god, it would look so terrible. Anyways, I'll think about it. I'll have to talk to Sparty. I mean, if he says yes, I'll do it. But, like, he needs to commit. And for him, it'll take, like, you know, a month, because he has to let the hair grow on the sides and then keep the top shaved like Friar Tuck. Well, for Sparty, it'll only take, like, a month. For me, it's like, I'm almost good to go now. My hair is, like, down to my neck, like, all the way right now, so... Saranska, dude. I'll tell him that, man. I'll let him know. So yeah, the trees are alive. The battle's underway. Dob plays with a great quote there. Deepwood Scouts are going to be coming out, and those Rat Ogres will die very quickly. This is pretty cool. The Wild Riders and everyone is rushing out of the forest, and the Skaven are like, oh god, reform ranks. The wood things are behind us. So they're coming into the back here, and you can see that Mel Gibson, the Dark Lord of the Wood Elves, going to be unleashing his first javelin throw, and here comes the Seeking Missile. And it takes out a couple of Jezzails, which was very, very epic. Now, the Wild Riders here are taking quite a bit of work. Cycle charging coming in against the just chaff in the back, the Clan Rats and other troops like that. But very good bracing here from Chosen One. He actually braces very, very quickly and makes sure he doesn't take a ton of damage. So the Wood Elves are coming. Dryads will be engaging against Clan Rats. Storm Vermin will hold pretty well because of their armor, but still, the Dryads are going to be very, very effective here on the front line. They have that physical resist, so they're going to be even more durable against the low damage output of all these spears. I mean, it's mostly spears, right? So unfortunately, Wild Riders here are going to be charging into braced halberds, which isn't going to do much. He needs to pull those guys up and get them up and around the back. Horn of the Wild Hunt is going to be going down as well, and the Dryads are going to get that charge bonus. So Dryads here with a charge bonus of 18, a whopping 18. Wild Riders coming in with a hammering charge against those Clan Rats, but the Skaven are counter-punching. So the Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers, the Hell Pit Abominations coming out, the Doom Wheel, or not Doom Wheel, but the Plague Furnace here, or the Grace here with Lord Plague on the Screaming Bell is going to be coming in. Nice little pendulum effect there from the Branch Wraith, is able to really cleave through those Storm Vermin. They're actually breaking rather quickly. Now, Frank needs to get Mel Gibson in there. Mel Gibson is pretty good at throwing the spear, but he's actually a much better melee combatant, and his terror against the Skaven mainline is just invaluable. So Dryads here have collapsed his position. Looks like in the back there is going to be a Scorch coming down, which does a little bit of damage, but it's no pendulum, but nonetheless still not bad. Mel Gibson needs to get in there. He needs to go fight this Hell Pit. He needs to just get fisticuffs. That's where he really shines. Now, Dryads are grinding quite well. Balance of power is actually really, really even. Some Wild Riders in the back were able to get around, and somehow they got on top of this Warp Lightning Cannon, which is very good. And the Jezzails, who do actually have silver shields, are being focused down by Deepwood Scouts. But now Mel Gibson's in the fight, and that's going to change the dynamic for sure. So Mel Gibson plus his Branch Wraith could probably take down this Hell Pit Abomination. And now there's a little bit of an opening here. Some of the Wild Riders are trying to get in, but I don't think using the Wild Riders to compromise the Jezzails here is like super necessary because of the Deepwood Scouts. But I guess he's going to keep trying to push through. Yeah, really, really aggressive stuff. And the Warp Lightning Cannon is about to be offline. It's really going to come down to Mel, because the Skaven are actually holding pretty well. I mean, they've held back the onslaught. The Wild Riders are all super beat up. These ones are like near death. I think the other ones are like pretty much chased off the battlefield at this point. But anyways, Deepwood Scout's still shooting in. Mel Gibson with his bonus for his large just putting in work against the Hell Pit. And, you know, obviously the Branch Wraith can heal him. So as long as Mel Gibson's taking the damage, that's pretty good. Wild Hunters of Kurnus are in here fighting. They're pretty much done, but they are giving Guardian here to Mel Gibson, which is quite good. And the Deepwood Scouts, where are they shooting now? Looks like they switched to actually start shooting at some of the Clan Rats, which is an interesting kind of choice here, especially when Rat Ogres here in the back line are actually just pound-tounding some Deepwood Scouts for free. So he needs to pull those guys back. Mel Gibson still fighting in the pits against the glorious Hell Pit Abomination. 5.7k HP. Wild Hunters of Kurnus are also attacking the Grace here, but it looks like, yeah, they need to get out of there. And at this point, like, just take your Wild Riders and just chase off Skaven scraps. Skaven, you know, are often going to be terror routing and breaking and things like that, and getting your, like, cheap cav units or even your beat-up cav units to just chase, like, a group of 17 Jezzails off is, like, just massive value, because if those Jezzails can set up and start shooting again, that can be very bad. Now in the back, we do have some Dryads coming back to try and peel. We do also have Mel Gibson, who's peeled off the front line, so he's come back here with the spear. And the Wild Hunt is on. He's going to be going after these Ogres, but they're pretty quick, I guess. But I think Mel Gibson has similar speed. Wild Riders hammering back here as well. With Mel Gibson, they should be able to kind of clean up shop. But this is a very, very even fight. The Skaven really securing the center pocket, doing a great job. Oh, that's right. That's right. The ROR Wild Riders no longer have Guardian. The Wild Hunters of Kurnus. That is a great point. They actually just have anti-large now. So my apologies, guys. A bit of misinformation, but you know, we now know that. I totally forgot about that. So here the Branch Wraith is going to be dropping some heals. I would imagine it's going to be healing back here, or maybe it's going to be dropping something in here. But Wild Hunters back here, Wild Riders are broken off, and he really needs to shut down those Warp Lock Jezzails. Warp Lightning Cannon somehow, some way is still online, but these Dryads right here from Frank should be able to push in there and go after the Warp Lightning Cannons and finish it off. Mel Gibson's going to probably be throwing his spear here, maybe? I mean, going after the Grey Seer here wouldn't be a bad idea. You still have Dryads fighting, so although no, the Dryads actually just broke. Wild Riders here definitely needs to clean up the Warp Lightning Cannon and these Skaven slaves. Like, don't charge in there. No, you need to get the Warp Lightning Cannon. That Warp Lightning Cannon really needs to pay the Troll Toll. And the Hell Pit Abomination's going after Mel Gibson, but you know, that is no small feat. Mel Gibson does have the Cloak of Isha as well, so when he gets below a certain threshold, he becomes extremely difficult to kill. So the Skaven actually do pull ahead on the Bounce of Power, but it's actually still an relatively even fight, especially with Orion here and the healing. If the Deepwood Scouts are able to finish off, you know, the Hell Pit, that could be a way for him to get back in the game, because, you know, the Terror could be very, very strong. But something that's really good for Chosen One is he actually does have the Council Guard in the back, so the Council Guard are going to be an unbreakable bastion with which he can fall back upon, and he doesn't have to worry about terror routes and other things like that. So the Ratty boys here, doing pretty good. Able to fend off this Mel Gibson blitz. Some Wild Riders here are back online, and they're going to be getting this Warp Lightning Cannon, which is going to be a nice pick. So very good reaction there from Lieutenant Frank. So getting the Warp Lightning Cannon offline is going to be quite a huge boon. Deepwood Scouts are pretty much out of ammo and or compromised on pretty much all aspects of the formation here. And Mel Gibson, you know, instilling terror here in the front line. He has some Dryads still fighting. And guys, the Bounce of Power is creeping back towards the middle. It's heading back towards the middle very, very heavily. These Wild Riders now, what I would do is 100% go after the Jezzails. These aren't the Natty Boobo sharpshooters, and those guys are going to be a value train in the late game if they're not dealt with here. In the meantime, there's going to be some Mel Gibson bombardments going down, so probably the Hawk's Talon. We do have Storm Vermin chasing down Mel Gibson, and he's going to be kind of running for the hills a little bit, but nice little bombardment there as some of these summoned clan rats do disappear. And Mel is probably going to be turning and throwing his spear. He doesn't want to let this Branch Wraith die, though, for sure. That would be a huge disaster, but very, very good play by Chosen One in the back. He's able to get all these troops, chase off Deepwood Scouts, chase these guys off, and yeah, like, he's in good shape. Man, this is a great game. This is a really close one. And it looks like the Jezzails from Chosen One were able to actually shoot off some of the Wild Riders in the back. So those Wild Riders pretty much just, yeah, they're done for now. So please don't disconnect, dude. Please. Oh, come on. That would be horrible. Because basically, I mean, it's a close enough game that we would just have to offer a replay at this point. Come on, don't drop. Fight it. Fight internet. Come on. And he drops. Well, like, we can give... He was ahead on the bounce power. I'll talk to the players, because usually I like to have pretty liberal rules about this, but if he thinks he's going to keep dropping, we can always just advance the Wood Elves too. That was a game that either of them could have won too, so let's see what happens here. All right, so 1 second here. Let's talk to the players. Stand by, Frank. Data die again. I know. The Skaven probably had the game won, but we can replay. That's fine. Well, you can't, like, if the game's that close especially, you can't just give the win, especially to the person who dropped. But it's up to you. Or if you want to move forward. Well, let's see what Frank wants to do. Oops. Lags. Because, I mean, it seems like he might be interested in giving this Skaven the win. Let's see. It was too close to call, for sure. So we'll get Chosen One back in here. Man, that was a freaking great game, too. God, if your internet could just hold on for a couple more seconds, you know? So Frank's already in here. So they're going to work it out in Discord in the meantime and decide what they want to do, because it seems like Pavel here, Pavel doesn't really care too much. All right, guys, so we're going to let the players work it out. Typically, what I would do, the game being that close, is that it would just be a replay. Because, like, you can't... Yeah, it's a very awkward thing. Because, like, with Orion being unbreakable, there's still a small chance the Wood Elves could have come back, for sure. Like, it's possible. Like, he can cycle charge those wheels. He can, like, throw his javelin. There's a lot of ways. Yeah, so, well, hang tight, guys. We'll get it together here in a second. So Chosen One has to reset his internet real quick. Let me get the glorious plug-in for my laptop here. Well, but you have to remember that the Skaven army is a lot of, like, crappy units. It's like Skaven slaves and things like that. Yeah. All right, Chosen One's back. All right, so second here. The Hellpit could have healed potentially, but Orion could have also javelined it and then chased it off. That was a very close game. There was a small chance of Orion being a total beast. Yeah. It's hard to say. We'll probably do a replay, so stand by, my friends. Oh, sorry about that, guys. I had to adjust my standing desk a little bit. Yeah, I know the dropping is unfortunate. 1 second, guys. We can replay. I mean, there are tournaments in which, like, if someone just drops, you just give them a loss. But, you know, obviously in this format, it's like we can be a little bit more forgiving. Do you think Wood Elves are... Yeah, I think Wood Elves will get more stuff, for sure. Can do new. 1 second, guys. So what we'll probably do is just do a new matchup. So I'll just pick a new map here. Okay. New matchups. Frank, pick, and double ban. It was a close game. All right, so they're going to replay it. So let's go ahead and pick the map. We'll do a new map, too. We'll do something fun. We should make him fight an ambush battle. Like, if you disconnect, you should have to, like, be ambushed. Wouldn't that be hilarious? Oh my god. Where's that map? I don't know. What does Mask of Heavens look like? I can't even remember, to be honest. There's a map I'm looking for. I can't remember it. It's the Albion map. Do you guys remember what that's called? You know what? Let's just do Essence of Chaos and just go in deep for a fast game. New match. Just play a new match. Because, like, using the same armies, it pretty much, like, negates the benefit of the Wood Elf army. We're going to do the Essence of Chaos. It's going to be fast and furious. Yeah, I mean, the Skaven most likely had that, probably like 80% plus, like for the Skaven. But firstly, the one who disconnects, like you can't just be like, oh yeah, like because it takes away the fighting chance of the other player. So you basically have to give him a chance, in my opinion. Okay, we can do a different map. A close open map. It's Ogham Shard. Yes, that's what it is. So alternate. I forget who it was, but last time. So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so it should be back on Frank. We'll save Ogham Shard for the finals then. Yeah, because Orion like heals too, so he heals with his Cloak of Aisha, which is like makes him really hard to finish off. Yeah, Norsca. I probably wouldn't invest in a tabletop army for Wood Elves, unfortunately. The Great make them fight on Marienburg. The Great Equalizer. Yeah, it's Ogham Shard. Yeah, I think Orion like conjures his javelins. So Frank is going to pick Empire, and he's going to ban. Yeah, honestly, like that game was really close. Because Orion probably still has Hawk's Talon plus bombardments to help finish off the Council Guard. He can run and just go like chase. He could just go chase down the Jezzails, and there's nothing Skaven could do about it. And then he could start throwing javelins at the Hell Pit. Like there's all kinds of stuff. Like, yeah, it's way too much to just say like, oh yeah, it's 100% over. Plus, like again, the one disconnecting, like even though it's not their fault, it's their internet. It's like you gotta like, there has to be some variable for that. Yeah, I mean, he is a demigod. Orion is a demigod, so. In the end times, I'm not sure what happens to Wood Elves. Yeah, that's kind of a more of a lore question. You know what, guys? And just look at the bright side. You guys are getting more games. And then after this we have Vicious Satsuma facing off against the winner of this match. The Tree faction is... Oh, yeah. I'm not sure if they're good in AOS. I haven't seen them played, really. He bans Beastmen and High Elves. Pretty good stuff. And let's see what the Chosen One brings. Sylvaneth, yeah, that's what they're called. Do you think Games Workshop will do an update with Wood Elves army since they're revamping things? No. I think what will happen with Wood Elves is the remnants of the Wood Elves from Warhammer Fantasy will be put into the Free People's book, which is just like a mishmash of like old units that are getting a playable book. You can't. Yeah, so they can't play the same faction twice. Get those trees out of there. Enchantress is a Chaos God? Oh god, I hope not. Alright, so let's see what the Rats decide to play. The Ratsies, the Chosen One, what is he going to pick here? This is a very close quarters map, so very, very close quarters. Which I figured is good. Since we're already running a little bit long on time, it's like, let's just put him in a good old-fashioned just knockdown, drag-out fight. Hey, Jason Denny, take care, man. Thanks for joining on the stream today. Yeah, I'm getting a new phone, which will have a camera that can actually show it. That's kind of the problem here. Is like I don't have a. Yeah, I don't have a camera that can really record well aside from my webcam. So, Greenskins versus Empire, classic. The Battle of Blackfire Pass, which happens to be taking place in some Woodell Forest, but that's fine. Let's not ask questions. Yeah. No dwarf games yet today, Jake Wu. It could still happen. We still have the finals. Yeah, I mean, Gotrek's back now. He's in Age of Sigmar. Gotrek's back. I mean, it's not the same. I think he's like a Fire Slayer or something stupid like that. Oh god, I can't stand the Stormcast Eternals. I cannot stand them. It's like such an insult to the men of the Empire. Yeah. Anyways, I don't want to get on that tangent. All right, so Greenskins versus Empire, the classic showdown. Greenskins going to be coming in with a pretty big blitz, and honestly, what from Empire we'll probably see, I mean, you could use Marcus here. Marcus on a small map like this is pretty good, because he only has 180 range, so like he's going to be able to start sniping Greenskin Lords and characters. Marcus, maybe like with a Warrior Priest, Demogryph Knight Hammer, and then like a Jade Wizard. Yeah, that could be pretty good. The Battle of Blackfire Forest. It's not even lag, though. It's just like... Yeah, and, you know, Chosen One saying he hasn't disconnected in months. He's saying he hasn't had a disconnect in like 2 or 3 months, so it's pretty unfortunate timing. I know Winter's SEO, a great battle report channel, actually uses his old web or phone, and his battle reports are great quality. So I'll probably be doing the same thing when I get my new phone, because I don't even have a phone now. It's pretty haggard. Ogre's got a new unit called Weight Watcher, so I was like, what? Yeah, but they are coming out in Sigmar with a Free People's book, which is going to have the old Empire in it, so that'll probably be, if I do play at all, that'll be what I'll play. The Wood Marines. Yeah, 40k, I prefer, I mean, 40k seems, yeah, I've been having a blast playing 40k. Yeah, Wicked, yeah. So I think it's just kind of a weird thing. Like, it's just an unfortunate circumstance here. I mean, I wonder if it has something to do with spectator mode. I don't think so. Spectator mode used to have problems when it first came out, but like, why would it be just him disconnecting? Yeah, and I think you mentioned it had something to do with his data anyway, so. Again, there'll be timestamps, guys. We'll just call that last one a practice game for their own finals here. Oh man, gotta stretch the old hands out. Waywatchers on a Forest Dragon, is that a thing? Or a Waystalker? This is madness. Yeah, I was looking at the Google Pixel phone, actually. The Google phone. Like, not the newest one, because it's pretty pricey, but like the one previous generation. It seems to be pretty good. We'll get to the bottom of this. Chosen Ones, the Greenskins are ready. You know what I think could be a wild pick here? And I actually think it does have some niche applications against Empire, is freaking Doomdiver Catapults. Like, they really can catch people off guard. Like, hardcore. Which Legendary Lord has the strongest range damage? Probably Marcus Wolfheart. Because, like, it depends on the range. Like, if you're talking about at 200 plus range, it's going to be a Lith and R. But 180 and less, Marcus's burst is insane. With the Amber Bow plus Focus Shot, it's really, really hard. All right, guys, it's time. The Essence of Chaos is here. And again, it's a pretty close quarters map. There is some wiggle room as far as terrain goes. Like, you can use this hill and this hill here. And there is some aquatics here. But for the most part, these Sons of Sigmar are just going to be going fisticuffs against the foul greenskin here. So, for the Lord of the Empire and for Frank Drebin, we have Karl Franz. Front line's going to be Swordsman. It looks like a Jade Wizard as well. So, Jade Wizard is going to be healing up the classic Cav core. And, you know, that's one area where the Greenskins can't really compete with the Empire is the Cav game that well. I mean, they kind of can. But Knights of the Blazing Sun, Empire Knights here. We do also have Empire Knights, and more Empire Knights. Goodness. Now, my only concern for this build here for the Empire is that this is a super micro-intensive build. And if you're not like super quick on top of your pullouts, that's what she said, and your cycle charging, it's going to be a very, very tough situation. It's nice besides the speaker, you saying, for the Pixel 1? I know iPhones are really expensive though. It's just super pricey, so yeah, I don't know. Think about it. On top of that, we do have a Hammer of the Witches in the back, which is somewhat questionable here for a small map. Granted, it's still going to be pretty good against like the trolls and things like that. We have one group of huntsmen, and yeah, not much to protect. And I really like how he's using this natural terrain piece to kind of take away this flank. Great stuff here. I like this Empire army. I think it's going to be micro-intensive, but he's certainly shown to have some pretty good micro. Now, for the Greenskins, we have Goblins, we have Savage Orcs, Black Orcs, a very mishmash front line, but you don't really need much to beat a couple Swordsmen and things like that. So these Swordsmen can most certainly fall. We have Sigmar's Sons, we have Swordsmen here, and yeah, it's looking pretty good and tasty. We got a couple Trolls in the back. Now, Trolls are a good kind of deterrent against Empire Knights. They're actually potentially going to be able to slam into those Empire Knights and keep them off. We got the Rustiers, a couple Squig Herds, again, pretty good dual purpose against Empire Knights who have pretty terrible combat stats, so Squig Herds can actually hurt them. Nasty Skulkers are going to be super important in this matchup as well, and he only has one group. It's like he has a lot of different stuff in this army. We have the Wurzog in the back for Chosen One with Foot of Gork against those juicy Knights of the Blazing Sun, probably. Orc Boars and Forest Goblin Spider Riders. Now, Orc Boars obviously aren't the best cav, but when supported by Forest Goblin Spider Riders, they can do pretty good. Yes. It is time! Here we go, guys. We're going to see how strong the pullout game is for these Empire cav. Empire is a very strong faction, but he's not really using much new stuff. I mean, one group of Huntsmen will be, pretty good against like Savage Orc Pagans and things like that, but this Empire front line is going to get crumped into the Shadow Realm for sure. The cav play is going to have to be super on point for Frank, which, is very possible. I mean, this cav, like Empire Knights should be able to punish Savage Orcs and Goblins all day. Like their armor and their low defensive stats, we'll see. And of course, the Franz. It also is going to come down to some of the Franzy play. If Franz is able to just goon out the Pigmaster or get some good terror routes, that could be game-changing as well. But look at the sneaky Vanguard coming in from Chosen One, guys, up in the hill. He's got the Goblin Wolf Rider Archers. I like it. This is some sneaky get play, and they're going to be able to just sit and shoot at the Hammer of the Witches all day. This is some serious stuff. So here it comes, guys. The Goblins, the Savage Orcs, they stand ready to attack the Sons of Sigmar in a very defensive formation with their cav on the ready as well. But, man, I feel like there's a lot of answers for the Empire Knights, too. I mean, the Spider Riders and the Pigs, and then also Trolls and Squigs. It's like a rap song almost. Yeah. Here we go. Let's do it to it. So the frontline engagement soon to be underway here on the Essence of Chaos. The backline pressure is coming as well as the Forest Goblin Spider Riders pour out from the hills. And the Hammer of the Witches, oh, they might be able to get in there. Is Frank paying attention? Looks like he is. The Empire Knights do turn about face there to make sure they don't get in there. And the Huntsmen are going to be getting their initial volleys here into the Trolls and some of these other troops. Oh, you better move! Oh, that could have been bad. And that still does some good damage, but man, if he didn't move, that would have just been an absolute catastrophe. Now, the Empire Knights are a little bit overextended. The Pigs are probably going to get some freebies here. This is actually a relatively bad start here for the forces of the Empire. Like, these Empire Knights just charging over here and getting isolated. Oh, poor Sons of Sigmar. Now, they get a lancing charge here into some of these guys, but the Hogs are coming in, Wurzog's coming in. This is a huge win here for the Greenskins as they get that nice pick on the flank. Now, while it's going down here, Trolls in the front line are broken and terrified, so they're pretty much crumped off here. And the Empire Knights on the other side and the Reichsguard, or excuse me, the Knights of the Blazing Sun, are able to get a good hammering charge here into the front of these Squigs and these Goblins as well. And here comes another charge from these Empire Knights, so he really needs this. Like, he needs these charges in the front line because his troops will lose horribly without the support of the Cap. Now in the back, we do have the Goblin Archer line, which is shooting into the Sigmar Sons. Karl Franz hasn't really found an opportunity yet to shine. It looks like he's trying to peel back here, but Chosen One's going in deep with those Mangy Marauders, but they're going to be peeled in a matter of seconds here by the Knights of the Blazing Sun. But still, the Empire Knight pick here on the far side was really good. Spearmen are holding, but Black Orcs and Savage Orcs and company are getting in. Empire Knights are pretty much getting crumped across the board. And the Empire Knights here trying to pull back, but Karl Franz might be able to form a bit of a last stand here. Nice Brainbuster coming in from Wurzog, triggering the Bonewood Staff. Now the entire Greenskin army is getting that juicy melee attack buff. And you can see the Empire is falling behind rather quickly, but never count Karl Franz out. Like, if he can goon Greenskin characters and get terror routes, things like that can be very potent. So Morgub's Mangy Marauder is going to be chased off the battlefield 100% right here. But if we look at what the Empire has, one of the big powerhouse units they have left is the Hammer of the Witches. But the Hammer of the Witches crew is about to just get crumped all over by the Savage Orc Biggins. Huntsmen are on the run here. We have Empire Knights doing their thing as well, but they're in sustained combat. Empire Knights are only really good if they're going to be cycle charging. So it looks like the Greenskins and Chosen One are going to be claiming ultimate victory here in this battle. Karl Franz, I mean, pushing in, but I just don't see it. I just don't see it happening. FG of the Get coming down, and Franz is like a beast and everything, but Nasty Skulkers plus Wurzog plus a full health group of Orc Warboy Biggins, like, they can probably deal with Franz pretty healthy. So the Empire is backed up against the wall. The Sons of Sigmar holding firm. Karl Franz trying his best to keep back this tide of Greenskin ferocity, but just Spider Riders rear charging his Huntsmen. His Cav are just so beat up. The Knights of the Blazing Sun are having a terrible, terrible time, and Franz is trying his best, but I don't know. I don't even know how the bounce of power is like this close. Like, I feel like it should just be way more one-sided right now, but the Orcs are getting in there and they're crumping some gits. Sword's been broken off. Hammer of the Witch is broken off. Franz, like, at this point, maybe just go for a desperation snipe against the Wurzog. There's no way he's going to break through to 8-peak loonies who are unbreakable. They're poisoning the Knights of the Blazing Sun. It's just, it's a very, very tough situation. So, in the back here, what do we have left for the Empire? We have some Empire Knights who've come back, but they're just going to be hunted down by these wild hogs. You got John Travolta and company here just kind of going in on those guys. By Sigmar, no. And yeah, that's going to be it. There's no way the Empire can win this at this point. I mean, so if he does disconnect here, we can give the game to him, granted. Yeah, if he disconnects again, we might have to talk about moving forward without the disconnect. All right, so it looks like Empire is going to be getting crumped. I mean, everywhere. Wurzog is happy. Empire Knights here being picked apart by the pigs. Brainbust is going to be going down as well, which does pretty good damage there. But more importantly, it triggers the melee attack buff for the entire army. Franz over here is in the main lines. He's just diving, taking out Spider Riders, but there's Savage Orcs, there's Archers, there's just all kinds of trundling units everywhere. I mean, if Franz were able to pull this out, that would be an insane victory. That would be like some legendary status stuff. Franz is going to be charging. He is, a little bit slowed down from the poison here, but it looks like he's going after that hog. He's going whole hog, boys. Golem Raz is popped, but it's going to be wearing off here in a second. And is he going to make contact? It does not look like he is. So I think that Empire build wasn't... It was super micro intensive for one, but number two, it's just like I didn't like. I mean, it had potential. Yeah, the cycle charging could have been something, but it's just so hard to win with that. It's like so micro intensive. I think there are better builds against Greenskins for sure. So right here you can see the Archers shooting in. The Rusty Airs getting some good pepper in here against the Franz. Franz might be able to break off these Orc Warboys and potentially get a salvaging situation, but there's like nothing to fall back to. These Swordsmen are just breaking off. Swordsmen are a bit of a risky pick. I actually am a huge fan of mixing in great swords and surprising the Greenskins because they often don't bring black orcs in this matchup. The Knights didn't do much. They just got crumped out. So, on that note, that is going to be a victory for the Chosen One, and he's going to be facing off against the Satsuma in the finals. So let's go ahead and update the bracket here. Rollin', rollin', rollin'. Keep them doggies rolling, ride. So it's going to be Vicious Satsuma against Chosen One of the Grand Finals. And we will set up this next game here. So, GG, both of you. Fun games for sure. Not too much lag. The hammer was a little bit risky on that close quarters map, but it still hurt the trolls, but yeah. No stress. Well played, Frank. You did great, man. I know I told him it was a tiny map. He said he didn't remember it, but... Stank would have been good. And Volkmar, yeah, I would love Volkmar against Greenskins. It's so brutal. It's so brutal. See you, friend. All right, Vicious Satsuma, you're up. So Frank, well played. Now let us go ahead and invite the Satsuma in. You're up. All right, so for the Grand Finals, I'll be picking the maps one by one. We're going to start on Ogham's Shard, which is one of the new Albion maps. All right, so come on, no lag. Pray to the gods. Where is that accursed map? That was a fast and furious fight. Like trying to do the alphabet in my head right now to find the stupid map. Is it the Ogham Shard or is it just Ogham Shard? Anyways, so. All right. So Chosen starts. Now it is single ban. So we're doing single bans here in the best of 5 because double bans can get a little bit obnoxious here. And we're going to be on the... Is it the Ogham Shard? Cursed map. I usually know where most of the maps are, but in the words of Stained, it's been a while. 1 second here. Ogum first. All right. The lag is an affront to the ancestors. It is. It is. Tell me about it. All right, guys, we're back in action here. So chosen one here. Let's go ahead and update the scoreboard. Remember, this is a best of 5, and the winner here will be qualifying for the ECL Grand Finals. So far, the only person to have qualified, we've had one qualifier before this, was the Dark Lord Falcon himself. So certainly going to be joining some intense company. We're just going to put Satsuma for now, because that is okay. I think it'll fit a little bit better. Great. We're all set. So here we go. Chosen, pick, and ban. Guys, welcome, welcome. Thank you all for joining today. We're here in the grand finale, the grand poobah of this laggy qualifier, which, you know, actually we salvaged a little bit in that second series. It came back. And now we're going to see what happens. Chosen thinking hard. So he picks Dark Elves and he bans Beastmen. All right. So now it is time for Satsuma's counter pick here. So Dead Like Me, Empire is actually very strong. Those weren't like, they're very good, trust me. Empire is a hard faction to play, I think, but they're really, really good. They're very, very solid. Greenskins have some amazingly cost-effective ways to deal with large. Yeah, I suppose they do. I mean, trust me, Volkmar, like, goon squads against Greenskins are really good. Like, Volkmar buckles Greenskin infantry. Like, he crumps them. I mean, Blackwork's not so much, but against everything else, Volkmar just runs them down. It's brutal. The finale, we're here. Rise, brothers, rise. So what will Satsuma pick? Looks like he's thinking quite hard on this. You know, the Ogum Shard is a map that, all memes aside, is actually pretty good for aquatics. So if you want to pick a bunch of skinks, they can actually get some good fights on this map. Alex, I would, but like the games take a while and it kind of hurts my hand, all the clicking. So that's why I prefer to play 40k in person, actually. So what is Satsuma going to pick? Sats pick. And we got Skaven versus Dark Elves once again. It seems like people like this matchup, but, you know, he saw what Chosen One did earlier in this matchup, so maybe he's going to build around that, but will Chosen One switch up the build is the question. Because earlier Satsuma, of course, is more than welcome to watch the stream when he's not playing. No! Oh, he's going Greenskins! He's going Greenskins, baby! Let's get some crumpin'. It's time. Thoughts on Razordons? They're terrible. Yeah. Picking my green boys. And here we go. Vicious Satsuma coming in with the Greenskin pick. How are Dark Elves doing in multiplayer meta these days? Pretty good. I think Dark Elves are a top tier faction. But this is going to be fun. Greenskins. I mean, Satsuma's a very good Greenskin player. It doesn't seem like there's any lag in the chat room. You can actually kind of sense it because there's like a delay on your text. So I really think we're okay here. I don't think there's going to be any lag. Searing Doom Gelt isn't bad. Yeah, Searing Doom Gelt can get some pretty good value. Triggers the metal shifting quite a bit. Yeah, Carl didn't have too many good targets there. Like there were Skulkers, there was Spider Riders, there was all kinds of stuff to kind of pin him down. The wall comes in once again. Greenskins are a strong faction. They're pretty strong. So the players are picking their armies. I would put up a screen blocker, but like so I can peek at the armies, but I basically just don't feel like. You guys see that? You see Vicious Satsuma in chat with the glorious Wa dropped up in the top left. Crumping them spiky elf boys. We'll see. Chosen One obviously has played some very, very good games today, as has Satsuma. So we didn't get to enjoy Satsuma's as much because of the lag, but they were still good games. 5,000 subs. It's going good, man. I'm beyond jinxing. I'm actually not a superstitious person, really. So all jokes aside, Razordons, they'll probably get buffed. They'll probably get buffed in the next patch, like whenever the hell that is. Probably in like a couple months or whatever. Gelt and Volkmar, yeah, they're really good in that matchup for sure. Time to kite them boys? Maybe. You know what I'd love doing against Dark Elves is getting Doomdiver catapults. Like, it's such a fun niche pick. Just getting like 2 of them and just like freaking chasing their skirmish units down. It's so much fun. Because they're like heat seeking. It's actually kind of hard to juke them. Razordons are not very good. They're pretty terrible. Could we rename Grimgor to Mark Ruffalo? Grimgor is pretty terrible. I actually won a game with him on ladder the other day, and I was kind of surprised. Salamanders are just so much better. Because the range is like the biggest thing. The range like difference is like salamanders can like keep a relatively safe distance. Plus, yeah, the anti-large is really nice. They're still really good against most infantry, so. I'll donate if he picks Grimgor and wins. Mega junk, that's probably not going to happen, dude. Gotta root for the Greenskins, the good guys of this matchup. I mean, I suppose so. Both players taking it pretty seriously here with their picks. Chosen One is ready. Vicious Satsuma looks like he's about ready as well. Players coming into their own. Yeah, 1,069 people. That's what she said. Drop the likes. Do it, man. It does help me out, actually. I see a pretty direct correlation between like if I have a stream on a given day and then that stream, you know, has more likes than a day where the stream had less. Like I see a correlation in the uptick of views on that as well as subscribers, because YouTube, like, it's part of their algorithm. If a stream is getting, you know, more positive interaction and things like that in terms of likes, it'll recommend it to people more often. So it does help me out, guys. I actually really hate asking for, like, I feel like it's super cringy to be like, oh, make sure to drop a like and smash that like I've always felt like it's kind of cringy. That's why, like, I never did that before. But like, again, when I started to do this for a living, I was like, okay, I gotta make some concessions now. All right, so for the Dark Elves, what do we have? So up in the sky, we do, of course, have Morathi, the Hag Queen. Perhaps. She's ready to go. And she does have anti-large and armor piercing, soul stealer, and Melkoss. Pretty good kit. And she has all of her debuffing items, which are really good in the late game. Because oftentimes it will come down to just the Hydra. The Hydra is going to be there surrounded by orcs. If Morathi's nearby, their melee attack's lowered by 18. That is a big old difference. In the center, we have the Sisters of Singing Doom for the Terror, but Bleak Swords and Dread Spears aside from that. One group of Dark Shards, which is interesting. Bleak Swords in the back. Two groups of Cold One Knights. And the Chill of Sontar, the chilliest of all the dudes. Is Alpaca Lord 1 to 10? How much do I know about Warhammer Lord? Probably like a 3 or a 4. Yeah. My greatest fear about Warhammer 3? I don't know. I don't have too many fears, really. I'm like very optimistic about it, as a matter of fact. I mean, I just hope that they do more stuff for multiplayer. That's pretty much it. Goblin Wolf Rider Archers here for Satsuma, very similar to his playstyle earlier. So we saw the Goblin Wolf Rider core tear apart Norsca. But what he'll probably do with these little annoying Wolf Riders is he'll actually go and probably shoot down the Sisters of Singing Doom, who are lightly armored, a juicy target. And yeah, there's no lag. So I'm pretty sure all the lag earlier was, yeah, from the other end. So yeah, he's got 4 Goblin Wolf Rider Archers. On top of that, we do also have a couple groups of Night Goblins in the front. Savage Orcs. Savage Orc Biggins, just savage beat downtown. They're more than able to crump down the Bleak Swords and actually do a good dent against Sisters of Slaughter and Singing Doom. So it's a very nice army. He's got Trolls in the back. The Troll Toll might be paid as well. As far as dealing with the Hydra goes, he does have a little bit of an Archer core, but not much. That Hydra is going to be a powerhouse this game. Granted, if the Savage Orc Biggins get a good surround on it, it's going to be a different situation. Although, yeah, 4 Wolf Rider Archers can hurt the Hydra for sure. I'm really liking this army from Satsuma. He does also have a Night Goblin Warboss on foot with his Tormentor Sword. Wild, wild picks here. Man. Here we go. All right, guys. We have a new subscriber, actually, a new member from Mega Junk S. Thank you for becoming a member here on the channel. Much appreciated. Your support goes a long way. And the wolf, oh, look at the Wolf Riders just dramatically trotting. They were just like walking in sync. They're like, where there's a whip, there's a way. That's an old reference to Lord of the Rings, the Lord of the Rings cartoon. All right, Goblin Wolf Rider Archer is going to be going after the Sisters of Singing Doom with a full chub. I would 100% focus those guys down. Go after the Sisters. You are not going to regret that. So they're going to be shooting in here. The other ones might actually go after the Sisters of Slaughter in the back. I could have sworn I saw some Sisters of Slaughter, but I guess not. So the first volley's coming in. That is such good value. The Witch Elves only lose 1 model, but I mean, any HP you can get on those guys. The terror against the Greenskins is so good. So getting rid of one of the big kind of fountains of terror here that is potentially going to rout off your Trolls and Savage Orcs and things like that is very, very good. So they're going to be shooting here, but very good play here from Chosen One. He is able to pull those guys back, so veteran savvy play, making sure the Wolf Rider Archers can't make contact. And it looks like the first Vindictive Glare is going to be going down from the Goblin Shaman in the back, which does pop Morathi in the face. Not doing the most damage in the world, but still not bad. Now at this point, I'd probably grab the Wolf Rider Archers and just start shooting the Chill of Sontar, or maybe just going after the Witch Elves again. Hard to say, but Cold Low Knights are going to be collapsing on the flanks, and in the back we do also have some Dark Riders, so there's ample pressure, and Dark Riders are actually a pretty good answer against Goblin Wolf Rider Archers. Now you can see the Dark Elves getting a bit of a surround here. Very scary situation. Cold Low Knights are going to be charging in as well, overextending a little bit, but thankfully the Greenskins didn't react too quick with those Forest Goblin Spider Riders. Now up in the sky, you can see Marathi's going to be taking some shots from Rusty Arrows, but she should be able to start juking this. She needs to. Savage Orcs are going to start crumping Dread Spears. I mean, the frontline engagement, like I said, for the Greenskins is going to be good, but the Chilliest of Sontar is getting an okay breath attack, actually taking out, you know, maybe 10, 15 models there on the Savage Orcs, so certainly not bad. And there's also going to be a big push coming in the backline from Slanesh's Harvesters and Cold One Knights, getting a huge crumping here on the Forest Goblin Spider Riders. It looks like Satsuma did not react quick enough there, so he's going to be losing this Forest Goblin Spider Rider in the back. Whereas on the meantime, on the other side, it's going pretty well. I mean, he's able to kind of counter and pull back against these Cold One Knights, but they're getting into that back line. But how quick is Satsuma going to react with these nasty Skulkers? That is really the big factor. Oh no, but he pulls them away to go deal with this threat. Instead of that, like now the Cold One Knights are going to be getting on the Archers. A little bit of a disaster now. Not terrible, but still not an ideal situation. Regardless, the bounce power is in the favor of the Greenskins because they are crumping the shit out of that front line. Sisters of Singing Doom are getting kind of taken apart here. The Bleak Swords and Dread Spears, the main core of that Dark Elf force, is getting pushed off on pretty much every front. Now, the Chill of Sontar is a nice anchor piece, but like I said, Savage Orc Biggins are designed to kill such beasts. Anti-large armor piercing against average armor against the Chill of Sontar, so once they're able to isolate it, they should be able to do pretty well. There's also Trolls in the back. The Trolls are doing a pretty good job cleaning up Cold One Knights with a little bit of support from Nasty Skulkers. Over here, Forest Goblin Spider Riders have pinned down the Slanesh's Harvesters. And, you know, once you attack Forest Goblin Spider Riders, there's no pulling out. You're not going to be able to get away. So that's what she said. And the Slanesh's Harvesters, you know, they're traps now. They're also taking fire from the back from these Wolf Rider Archers. And I have to say, Satsuma has some really good play here with the Goblin Wolf Rider Archers. Those guys are just doing great work for him in all these games today. Now, the Greenskins crumping hard. I mean, just mashing this Dark Elf front line. The Trolls are just getting in here and just going to pound City. The Hydra's going to be coming in, but, like, Hydra's fighting against Savage Orc Biggins plus Trolls. That's going to be not the best time for the Chilliest of Sontars. He's going to be here trying his best, but, yeah, you can see he's going to get surrounded and probably crumped pretty good. And the Dark Elves are, you know, losing assets everywhere. The Forest Goblin Spider Riders are pinning things down. The Slanesh's Harvesters getting taken apart by a bunch of Goblin Wolf Rider Archers and Spider Riders. In the back, Savage Orc Biggins are taking apart Cold One Knights. I mean, there's just so many things going well for the Greenskins here. Now, some Trolls are breaking off, but, like, there's no way the Hydra's going to be able to win. Plus, a little Goblin War Boss in here. Look at this little hero hiding amongst the Trolls. And that's going to be the game for the Greenskins. Wow. What a game. What a game. You guys like that? Yes, Jake, I did just say that. All right. So that's going to be game one for Vicious Satsuma with his beautiful greenskin build. It was just crumping gits for days. Man, those Dark Elves did not have a good time against that. I love his Forest Goblin Spider Rider play. That's like my favorite part about it. So next one, we're going to go here, and the next map we will go to the Troll. We haven't done Troll Country, I don't think, today, have we? Picks and bans. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Falcon says, Chill of Sontar, so still going strong, and he's like, never mind, like 2 seconds later. I love it. That was a big old wah. Oh my god, that was an angry wah. Hey, take care, Wicked. Thanks again for all your help today, man. Yeah, the Orcs did not lose much. Well, because the Dark Elf front line was pretty flimsy. It was mostly like Bleak Swords and Dread Spears against Savage Orc Biggins. It was like, that's going to be a crumpin', especially with Wah and Bonewood Staff and stuff. Stannis, it was a pretty quick game, but Vicious Satsuma is going to be picking Tomb Kings for a second game, and he's going to be banning Norsca. Cool. I think War Wagons kind of suck. Yeah, the Hellblaster R War Wagon can be okay, but the regular wagons are extremely niche, if at all useful. The best unit that the Empire got in the DLC were Huntsmen. Huntsmen are really good. Yeah, Dark Elves probably would have wanted to kite a little bit more there. I mean, but they can win that in the grind, like if they want to, like come in with some more elite troops and stuff. Dread Spears and Dread Swords and Dread Spears are actually very good units, music for therapy, but just not under those circumstances. Like against like Empire and factions that don't have the best infantry, they're actually really cost effective. Common infantry stand no chance against the wall. Yeah, it's fairly true. So, Chosen One did a pretty good job wrapping though. Like he was getting some really good pressure with his Dark Riders and stuff early, but when the Greenskins kind of like got their bearings and were able to start getting their grubby paws on some of those Dark Elves, man, they were just taking them to Crump City. So it's going to be Vicious Satsuma here on the Glorious Tomb Kings facing off against Chosen One, who is we're still waiting for his pick here. We're on Troll Country, a relatively small map. The last map we played was somewhat big. If Mole Spaghetti says, if I were a pro Total War Warhammer 2 player, I would spam bad builds and advice in chat. Why would you do that? Well, I guess you wouldn't be a pro then, I suppose, yeah. That's Misha has a great point. All right, Chosen One, coming in with High Elves. Here we go. Let's see how this goes. So the High Elves here, High Elves, you know, got some good tools. Sisters, bolt throwers are quite cost effective against constructs. Nobles on horseback with Techless is a pretty strong combo as well for hunting down big boys. I mean, dragons can be good too. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff High Elves can do here. And I know people like to rag on High Elves a lot, but I do think High Elves are a good faction. Max Allen, there's so many different tier lists. Yeah, it's kind of like, it's a little bit hard to say. Greenskin rules. Yeah, greenskins are very strong. The one thing about greenskins, you have to be very careful about getting your lord sniped. It's really easy for those lords to go down quick, which can be quite punishing. So something to think about as we move on here into the grand finals. So Music for Therapy says, oh no, I agree with you, but in a vacuum infantry versus infantry, if you look at the melee, most cognitive charts, I suppose so. Yeah, I'd have to look at those kind of statistics. I've always felt like Bleak Swords do pretty well when they get the murderous prowess and stuff, but yeah. War Wagons need a Demogryph Knight variant. They don't need any more variants. War Wagons just like, they're just kind of weird. Yeah, you can still win with them, for sure. I've won games against good players with Wagons, but I don't know, I feel like... So if you want to go with Wagons, I'm trying to think of matchups in which they're good. Wagons might be okay in the Greenskin matchup, like if you're going for like a full kite build, but even still, it's like, they're not that good. Oh my god, Glass Cannon, Chosen One. Wee. I love Kung Pao, dude. Kung Pao's one of my favorite movies ever. Oh man. Yeah, Mega Junk S, thanks again for becoming a sponsor on the channel, man. I do appreciate that, my good sir. So High Elves versus Tomb Kings. A couple ways we can go about this. I mean, Chosen One could come in, for example, with like Phoenix Guard and, you know, use the birds, the Flamespire Phoenixes, and have a very defensive kind of sniping build. Or you can go in with a wide build using like Spearmen and, you know, Sisters and try and win in that respect. There's a multitude of ways High Elves can play this. Nice, Jake Wu. Right on, man. Yeah, good books. Yeah, in my Marcus campaign, I'm actually fighting it right now. The one, my next Marcus campaign will be going up tomorrow, probably. Because tomorrow I'll probably... I may stream a campaign tomorrow, I'm not sure. Yeah, Risted Amos, that's a really good point. We trained him wrong, as a joke. Chosen One. I freaking love that. Yeah, that's one of the best lines in the Kung Pao is the, we trained him wrong, as a joke. And the guy's just terrible. Oh, so good. Music, you could just send it to me on Discord after, actually. That would probably be better. Because chat auto-filters links and whatnot, so. So the player's picking quite carefully. After a first game, Chosen One on the back foot in this best of 5. Satsuma is coming out with the ferocity of the Greenskin Wa. The lag is resolved. The players are ready to party. A War Wagon is basically a land boat. Thought that would be pretty awesome. Oh my god. Oh man, I love Foo Fighters. Foo Fighters is actually one of my favorite bands. Yeah, I really wish that we could play music on streams and stuff. That'd be really fun. But alas, we cannot without being smited. Imagine Wagons. Yeah, that was a pretty good one. Yeah, I don't know. Wagons are just like... Maybe you give Wagons better melee stats. Like, give them a bonus versus infantry, you know? So they actually can be like functional chariots. And give them a little bit more damage output in melee, like with their melee attack. Like, leave their melee defense low, but like give them melee attack and bonus versus infantry. And then like lower the cost by like 50 to 100, and then they might be good. Oh, For Whom the Bell Tolls is actually one of my favorite Metallica songs. It's so good. Matthew Heathcote says, fantastic stream. How does one become a member? So basically there's a little number, like just by where you donated. I think there's like another button. It's like become a channel sponsor. I think you just do it down there. But honestly, whatever you feel like doing, man. No stress out either way. I mean, I could play royalty-free music, like classical music, which is what I usually do. But it'd be fun to just like take requests from you guys and just jam to that music. So Foo Fighters are great in concert. So is Metallica. I've seen Metallica twice. I saw Metallica in 2002 and 2012. I've seen Foo Fighters twice. I've seen Nine Inch Nails once. They're awesome. Nine Inch Nails was really good live. I've seen Linkin Park. I've seen Limp Bizkit when I was a kid. Yeah, a bunch of shows. Who was the best legendary lord from the DLC? Probably Marcus. Marcus is much better than Nakai. Nakai's overpriced. And like Slann are just so good. Like I almost like never, like if I'm playing a competitive game, I'm always going to take a Slann. Slans are just so good. Shield of the Old Ones, Blood Statuette, Aura of Pretzel. Just like so many good abilities. And tanky too, like hard to kill. All right, guys, here we are in the finals, round 2. It's going to be Chosen One on the High Elves. And it looks like Vicious Satsuma is coming in with the Tomb Kings. And pretty cool looking builds from both players. Now for the High Elves, in the front line, it's going to be a Phoenix Guard build. So he's going to be going for a very defensive build using Bolt Throwers to kill constructs, Phoenix Guard and White Lines to hold, and the Bird to spread the word. So Frostheart Phoenix here, going to be going in. I honestly think the Flamespire is a little better because the Rebirth effect is so OP. And plus the Bombardments are actually really good against Tomb King's infantry. So, but nonetheless, it's still not bad. He's got 2 Halberds, 1 of the White Lines here, and a couple Spears. On top of that, he's got a Mage of Life, which is going to be good for healing single entities, and Big Papa Tyrion. Now, Tyrion is actually a pretty good character in this matchup. He's quite good at hunting down like constructs. Sunfang can do a ton of damage. I love this. Oh man, Nine Inch Nails. Soundgarden is actually like my top 3 favorite bands of all time. I freaking love Soundgarden. However, I never got to see them live, unfortunately, because I don't know if they were touring much in the late 2000s when I would have been going to concerts. Yeah, Soundgarden, my favorite songs are Fell on Black Days is actually my favorite song. There's a song called 4th of July that I love. Like Suicide's really good. I mean, there's Soundgarden. I mean, Black Hole Sun's great. Spoon Man is really good. Oh man, like the drums coming in on Spoon Man. It's so good. But anyways, guys, sorry, I digress. But so yeah, this army's quite good. Defensive formation, classic stuff. Tomb Kings, though, let's see how well equipped they are. You know, as a matter of fact, the fact that the Tomb Kings brought 5 archers is going to be super punishing here. The archers will punish the Phoenix. They'll be able to shoot in against the Bolt Throwers. The Bolt Throwers like won't have too many good targets. So the fact that Satsuma didn't bring a ton of big construct targets aside from his Lord, which he can kind of hide if he wants to, is really strong. He's got Tomb Guard in the front line, Skeletons in the secondary. He does have a Soul Blight, so the Soul Blight combo with the archers lowers the armor. The bread then gets buttered, which is great. So this is a great little build here. He does have nets and Foz protection, archers, Tomb King, chariots in the back. Chariots won't be too useful. I think that zeros or chosen ones. I don't know why I said 0. I saw like the big O and I thought 0, but why chosen ones build is going to be pretty good against chariots. I mean, the Bolt Throwers can do a lot of work, but I think the archer play is going to be really, really solid. Dave Davidson says he saw Soundgarden's last show before Chris Cornell died. Yeah, tragic stuff. Chris Cornell is the man. So the Spray Fire mode is going to be going into the archers, the Blessed Legion of Demonetization, which is a good target. So very good target priority here coming in from Chosen One. And the Tomb Kings are going to be advancing. The Bone Boys are coming. He could use Foz protection here if he wants to keep the Blessed Legion from dying, but I mean, nonetheless, it's going to be okay. I mean, Setcher might as well, for the Tomb King, might as well move forward at this point. There's no reason not to, really. And the Frostbird is looking for opportunities to engage as well. Very much just a bony boy army. And I guess Sunfang is going to be really good here. Sunfang can, of course, roast Tomb Guard. Basically, that's what Chosen One really wants to focus on. He wants to make sure that he can get those really good Sunfang casts. And in the meantime, Vicious Satsuma wants to make sure that his archers are able to take apart high-value targets. You know, he might honestly just use a Soul Blight here and get all 5 archers just peppering Phoenix Guard, so then his front line can just push through. He might do that, actually. Now, the Bird is going to be landing. The Bird is the word. It's going to be jumping in here, going after these skeleton archers. And there are some halberds nearby. Tomb Guard with halberds can come in and help, and it looks like there's going to be a net. And all the archers are actually going to be turning about face to go after the Frostheart Phoenix. And the Tomb Kings are actually advancing with the rest of the army, so the Tomb Guard are going to be engaging in the front line. Honestly, I might actually wait until the Bird's been dealt with, but the Frostheart Phoenix might get broken here. That was quite a good net, but you can see here the Skeleton Archers plus the Blessed Legion of Demonetization are actually taking a pounding, so really good play here from Chosen One. I actually didn't think the Bolt Throws would be that effective against the Archers, but they're doing a great job. So in the meantime, Chosen One's Bird is going to be going down. Oh, a beautiful Sunfang coming in from Tyrion, so Chosen One, doing a great job here, and he's really able to get some value despite losing his Phoenix. So the Phoenix here is broken off, but if it doesn't run off the battlefield and he's able to get some heals, it's not really going to be a big deal. So now the Tomb King is looking for opportunities, but Big Papa Tyrion's looking for that, and I don't know, Tyrion's just a terror in the night. And wow, look at these Bolt Throwers doing such a good job against the Skeleton Spears. What good dual purpose. You know, I really always underestimated the power of the Bolt Throwers against such targets, but they're doing a great job. Now in the back, you can see that Satsuma is going to be coming around with the Skeleton Chariots. looking for some goodies. He's not going to be able to get too much value, but I mean, man, if he had some Nehekart horsemen to really just punch in here and cause some problems, that could be very, very strong. So the Tomb King army, very, very much in tatters right now. But again, the skeletons will come into their own. And the chariots, oh, nice chariot charge. He's able to get in there, and it looks like maybe a Soulblight's going to be coming down as well. And now the archers are shooting in. So this is the return of the Empire Strikes Back. The Empire being the skeleton archers. How many does he have online? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and yeah, he's got 4 online, which is pretty good. I'm pretty sure he lost the Demonetization Legion. No, they're still back there. They're still going. So yeah, the chariot's actually able to get in there and cause some heavy disruption. Very, very good stuff. So the archers are just methodically going after the bolt throwers, and one of the bolt throwers is actually finished off. So you can see here that the Eagle Claw bolt thrower is broken off by the chariot, so very good play there by Satsuma. Both players just kind of fighting back and forth here. But however, the Tomb King is getting kind of 2v1 here by Tyrion and the Frostheart Phoenix, but all bolt throwers are pretty much offline at this point. So now, with good control, the Tomb King should be able to make sure those bolt throwers don't come back online here. So Skeleton Spear is going to be chasing them off, and now there is no more threat in that respect. So that really does, in a way, change the dynamic of the game. Probably getting the Tomb King back behind the lines, getting another freaking a net on the Frostheart Phoenix, taking that out is going to be the methodical next play here for the Tomb Kings, in my opinion, because this guy here is like, Tyrion hunting him down is not a great situation at all. So the Eagle Claw bolt throwers are taken out. The Light Wizard here definitely needs to drop a net here on this bird and just, start to kind of pepper him down. Although, what is he shooting right now? So he's probably shooting into, Phoenix Guard and elite troops like that. Oh, wow, and he actually somehow, that Light Wizard, that mage, I don't know how it got broken off. Maybe a little bit of focus fire from the archers, but now, if this mage gets chased off, that's really big. I mean, Tyrion without the heals, Phoenix Guard without heals, that is a game changer. So the Skeleton Spears back here for Satsuma are going to be coming back here, going after the Mage of Life. However, the Tomb Guard with Halberds, the Phoenix Guard with Halberds holding very well. There's not really much of a punch on those guys. And the bird in the back is just causing problems. But now we're going to be getting the net from Satsuma. And the crossfire from the Skeleton Archers is going to be coming in and being... but it gets to take off. Yeah, I feel like it shouldn't be able to do that when it's netted down. But anyways... probably an annoying thing to fix. So Archer's getting some really good value. Ushabti Summon being used in the center pocket. The Mage of Life is gone off the battlefield. That is really, really bad for the High Elves. And now the Balance of Power is actually normalizing a little bit. It was looking really good for the High Elves in regards to the Balance of Power there, but the net play, kind of the persistence here of the Tomb Kings is really, really paying off. So up in the sky here, the Frostheart Phoenix at about 1900 HP. He's putting the moves, he's putting the jukes in, but the archers are peppering him and keeping him at bay. There's probably still plenty of Winds of Magic, but it looks like another Soulblight is going to be going down here. Yeah, Soulblight was used in this main fight, which is going to make the Phoenix Guard much weaker. Putting them down to 70 armor is actually quite a big deal. Tyrion, of course, needs to be hunting down this Tomb King most likely, or assassinating casters. That's a really good choice. So Tyrion will take out these casters rather quickly, but man, the Archer Focus Fire with the Soulblight combo is just so good. Man, just doing work. The Phoenix is coming in as well, going to be going after the casters, just dipping its toes into the back line, but Cetra here, or not Cetra, but the Tomb King will probably be able to actually break off the white lines and the Spearmen. This is going to be a really, really good situation for him. So this fight back here is on, but the Tomb Kings are pulling ahead in the Bounce of Power, and if Satsuma does take this game, he will be going up 2-0 in this best of 5, which certainly puts Chosen One back on the ropes here. So here comes another Flame Blast, or the Sun Fang is going to be going down as well. Roasting, but look at that control by Satsuma. That was so good. He fanned out the spears. He saw it coming and he fanned them out into a full stretch. Man, that is some really, really good control there. So anyways, you can see King Nikesh's Scorpion Legion is going to be going after the Frostheart Phoenix. Skeleton Archers are just shooting into the elite troops here. However, the Lich Priest actually taking a bit of work, but man, it's looking pretty good here for the Tomb Kings. Now in the back line, you can see Cetra is able to tear out off those white lines most likely. The Spearmen are going to be following in suit next. And he's basically just trying to keep him away from Tyrion. Phoenix Guard here, 100% broken. Skeleton Spears will chase him off. I don't know, guys. It's still possible for the High Elves because Tyrion is a monster and so is the bird's pretty strong as well. But if they can methodically snipe these characters and then get another good Sunfang, that could be a good way back into the game. So here you can see that the bird is going to be taking out the priest. The curse is going to be going down. Yeah, but the Lich Priest of Light in really, really bad shape. Critical binding in 0, and down he goes. Steel chaired by Tyrion, so the High Elves are clawing their way back into this game with the assassinations, and it looks like the Lich Priest of Death is next. So I really like this. Chosen One staying disciplined here and methodically, calm in the face of, what looks to be destruction. And he's going in there and he's taking out these characters. The Lich Priest going down here is going to be quite big. Ooh, -1. Tyrion just being an absolute Chad, just doing a ton of work here. So what Tyrion does is he kills the Lich Priest, right? And then he goes in and just takes out the Tomb King. And then suddenly the High Elves are back in this game, which it was looking so grim for them. I mean, there's so many High Elves left, which is absolute insanity. Yeah, this is a really, really good game. So here you can see that the Skeleton Archer is going to be turning about face, shooting into the Frostheart Phoenix, which is tanking rather well, actually. I'm surprised this thing's still alive after taking so much focus fire. Oh, but Big Papa Tyrion's going for the Duel of the Ages. Here it comes. Tyrion charging through the snowy troll country, and the Tomb King's like, screw this shit. I'm out of here. Tyrion is too alpha for me. 3,400 HP against Tyrion's 35, but Tyrion does, of course, have the Rebirth ability, the Phoenix ability, basically. And there's no way this Tomb King... The Tomb King will get away, probably, but Tyrion's going to be just poking him in the butt and just, coming after him, and it's not going to be a good situation for him. Especially with the Frostheart Phoenix coming in, that is going to be a nasty, nasty situation. Now, if we look over here, the Halberds are breaking off. The Tomb Kings are kind of winning the fight as it pertains to the infantry game. And, yeah, I don't know. What's left that can deal with Tyrion? Somebody in chat asked. Halberds can deal with him quite well, because he is on horseback. But aside from that, I mean, if he's able to get good Sunfangs or Spears, Spears will do okay against him in sustained combat. Granted, he can cycle charge until he's like the only thing left, or there's just single entities. So right here, we do have the big old Tomb King. He's going to be getting those fat breath attacks right there. Tyrion's getting a ton of work against him, though. But the Tomb King probably... What I would do with the Tomb King is probably go after the bird. Like, just try and finish off one big threat. Because, like, fighting Tyrion probably isn't worth it. Skeleton Archers, are they still in line? They're out of ammo, actually. These Phoenix Guard are being chased off here. Back here, we have Skeleton Spears. The King Nikesh's Scorpion Legion, actually, is a pretty big difference maker. The bird should probably just go after and finish off this Death Priest. Because another Soul Blight's probably going to be going down here. Is there a Soul Blight? Yeah. See, that's the thing. Another Soul Blight here is actually pretty big. It allows the Skeleton Spearmen to actually do decent damage against the armor of Tyrion and some of these other threats, but I guess it wore off rather quickly anyways. So Tomb King, 1,200 HP, is going to be going after the bird. Nice turnaround right there. Beautiful stuff. Getting a huge punch there on the Frostheart Phoenix. That was a really, really good play there. But Tyrion comes in with the counter punch. 948 HP on the Tomb King. Oh, and the bird comes in. It's going in, and the Tomb King's just barely able to get away. Tyrion is able to outmaneuver the Halberds. The Amulet of Saw going down, which lowers armor, which is pretty interesting. So, yeah, that's the whole combo, right? Using archers with the armor sundering abilities. I don't know. This is anyone's game for sure. The balance of power is slightly in the favor of the High Elves, but yeah, I mean, grinding out infantry. I guess if Tyrion has Sunfang charges, that's going to pretty much end it, right? So here we have Tyrion coming after the Lich Priest. He's about to get steel chaired for sure. He's like, I'm too weak, Anakin. I can't hold any longer. And there he goes. So Tyrion riding away victorious, taking out the caster. And where is he going now? So Tyrion's going to probably go finish off King Nikesh's Scorpion Legion. Yeah, that's pretty good. He's going to go finish off the Scorpion Legion here. The Tomb King just going to be reforming ranks. Sunfang enlighten us. War Kitty should hide in melee with the skeleton minions. Yeah, 100% Falcon. There's pretty much no other choice for him. I mean, anything in open field is going to be a disaster. But, I mean, this is great. Like, realizing there's an isolated, relatively valuable unit over here. He's going to be jumping on these guys. And, yeah, don't even land the bird. You don't need to. It's like any poke on the bird could actually get it close to breaking, so... negative 42 leadership. It's going to be crumbling, and I guess he's going to take the land. I guess that does break it instantly. Yeah, so that was pretty fortunate. So, guys, it's the final showdown, and we have it. It's time. Frostheart Phoenix and Spears going to be surging back in, and yeah, this is quite epic. Both players reforming ranks. They're probably both like, oh my goodness. Can Tyrion be the one-man army yet again? Probably. I mean, we have Spears. Both players have to attack here, so. Yeah, you can see here that a chosen one is marching forward. His spearmen, they're both marching forward towards their opponents. Tyrion is too alpha to stop. I think he might be. But the High Elves are coming in. Both players coming in here. I'll remind them that both players must be attackers here. Yeah, and it looks like they're moving forward now. I mean, I don't need to be super obnoxious about it. I think they both have played in enough King's Cups. Turin, what's the ECL 3 timeline? No, it's kind of like once a week, just whenever I'm feeling up to it. It's kind of like a random thing, but yeah, it's once a week. So usually it'll be on Fridays or Saturdays. Is how I do it. So Tyrion's coming in for a charge here. He's thinking about it. He's like, where shall I go? The thing is once these spearmen falter, he's going to have to fight because he'll only have single entities left. I think he has some spearmen, actually. No, does he have anything else? No, it's pretty much it for the High Elves. So he'll have to fight. Like, there'll be no choice. It's going to be a Tyrion one-man army. It's going to be a Tyrion one-man army. So Tyrion going in for the kill here. The Tomb King needs to just like juke about, oh man, this Tomb King's going to get hunted by Tyrion. But he's doing a really good job right here, Satsuma. He's like pulling back into his forces and dragging Tyrion through spears and stuff. But, oh man, Tyrion is just such a beast. Just, oh my god, this Tomb King is just getting mulched. The High Elf spears are going to be broken, so now that he pretty much only has single entities here, he's going to have to fight, and Tyrion's going to have to fight as well. But the bird's going to go down for the alpha strike here, the final death thrust. And he gets it, 46 HP on the Tomb King. He's going to be crumbling here, 28-19. Oh, but the Tomb King gets an attack back on the bird, but he misses. Now, the Frostheart Phoenix does have really, really good melee attack. So, yeah, that's going to be it. So now Tyrion's fighting to the bitter end. Oh, and the Sunfang's coming in. Here it comes, boys. Sunfang round 2. Does it get the blast? Oh, Satsuma dodges a lot of it. But still. And now the spears are going, so basically both players are just going to have to grind it out here. I'm pretty sure he can, like, pull one out. I can't quite remember, but Tyrion's going to be charging into these guys. Yeah, the bird's probably going to break, honestly. Yeah, it's going to break. It's at 2. So coming back down here. It's going to be pushing over to another target. Yeah, the bird is pretty much... This is actually smart, leaving the bird up in the sky to get the debuff on all these skeletons, because it does have the Frostheart aura. There was a Sunfang. So we have Tyrion fully surrounded by the legions of the undead. But he's been here before, and I believe actually when we had this between King of the Dead and Xiphos, it was on this exact same map. Oh my god, Tyrion doing like 360s on his horse. Oh my god. Oh my god, the insanity. The other skeleton spears are going to be piling in, but Tyrion is just so tanky, and the Tomb Guard with halberds are the best tool against him. Yeah, just leave the bird there. He can't pull out. Yeah, Tyrion has to stay, I think. The bird is like, you know, doing its thing. It wouldn't matter anyways. This is nuts. This is nuts. Oh my god, this game is insane. So here comes Tyrion. I mean, landing the bird, I guess he could. It doesn't really matter, though. There's no way. Tyrion's going to tank this all day. Funny enough, by the rules, the spears aren't shattered. Yeah, the High Elf spears are back. The High Elf spears are actually here, so if you want to really nitpick the rules, the spears are moving towards the enemy, so they count as attacking. They have an attack order on them, so yeah, I mean, he can just leave the bird here and just get the Frost Aura. Yeah, so everything's good in terms of the rules. You see, this is where a Flamespire Pigeon would be insane, because it would just get the regrowth plus its bombardments would be really good. But granted, it might have died earlier. No, the spears are back. Tyrion is grinding. Oh my god, look at this. He's leaving the Tomb Guard out here. Chosen One says, come on, Tyrion. Oh my god, this is such a grind. You see, the thing is Sunfang, I don't think has a limit to its charges. It has a super long recharge time, but the spears might have just... No, the spears are coming back in. See? They're charging in. Oh my god, this is nuts. Skeleton spears are crumbling. Just one at a time here. You know, Tyrion's actually kind of getting a little bit low here. Alright, so they're shattered. So bird must attack now. Because spear is gone. So I'll let him know. So the bird's coming. Because I just informed him that he has to engage here. So the bird's going to be landing. And this is it. This is the final fight, guys. Oh my god. The Tomb Guard were able to shatter off the spear, so now all the single entities can't cycle charge anymore. They basically have to fight. The bird wants to break, but it doesn't quite want to. 401 HP. Oh, Sunfang! Oh! See, the thing is, if he kills the skeleton spears, Tyrion will probably be able to kill the Tomb Guard by himself. And that's it! Did you say the Tomb Guard like to watch as Tyrion porks their wife? Oh my god. It's over anyways. Oh my god. That was an insane game. Alright guys, we're in game 3 in this best of 5. Maybe just one unit have to fight. I might have gotten it wrong, Misha, but ultimately it didn't matter. Oh, they say you can't disengage. Okay. Yeah, I gotta freshen up on those like engage. I know the limit rules pretty well, but I gotta freshen up on those. Vicious Satsuma says, I messed up with archers at the start. Should have targeted your bolt throwers early. Okay. Next map. Regardless of that, it doesn't matter. The game outcome was pretty much just determined by Tyrion there. Schwarzhofen. That was a game. Tyrion is such an alpha. I messed with my healer so badly. Yeah. Really dumb to shoot that Phoenix, says Satsuma. Interesting stuff. I haven't, Peter. I haven't heard of them, no. So next match. They're like thanking each other. That's pretty funny. Like, thanks for letting me get that snipe. All right, guys, on to the next game. The stream's getting pretty balls deep in 3-hour territory because these games are great. That wasn't cheesy. No, that was awesome. Got to keep the viewers entertained. Oh, Tyrion is one-man army here. That's insane. Also, yeah, for sure, Falcon. I actually thought that like if there's nothing left and there's just single entities, I thought they all had to attack and they can't like just hide or sit somewhere else. So I might have had that one a little bit wrong, but it ultimately didn't matter. So, but now that I know, it should be fine. It's hard to memorize all those rules for sure. 24-hour stream? Oh, man. It's treason then. 1,300 people coming in deep. Even though it's like probably getting like 1 a.m. range in a lot of Europe. Mega Junk, thanks for the donation, my squig friend. For the 5. So we chosen ones on Skaven, and we got Vampire Coast. All right. The Chaos Tep is getting quite drunk on Bugmans. Sounds like fun. Hang on 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. While they get ready, so I'm just going to ready up. I return, my friends. In your hour of need. Yeah, it's pretty late. Pretty late over there in Europe, yeah. We're coming in deep. Tyrion came in deep today for sure. On the road again. I just can't wait to be on the road again. So Bubba's Big Blast says, now we can, Bubba's Big Blast says, now we can see why the Everqueen had the hots for Tyrion, even when she was married to someone else. Lovely. So Zach Farah says he has an advanced thermodynamics exam on Monday, but this is more important. I agree. This is quite important. Yes. It is quite important, my friend. Just setting down to sleep. And then this pops up. Simon Benjamin, are you not entertained? Simon, thank you for the donation, man. For the 10, as always, man, coming through like an absolute ace. Yeah, it's been a pretty entertaining stream. I mean, again, we had technical difficulties earlier, but it turned into a pretty good affair. Yeah, the Frostheart Phoenix gives -9 melee attack to nearby units. But, like, I still think the Flamespire is just so much better because how OP that Rebirth ability is. It's just, like, it's just so dirty. It's so dirty. I actually think that it needs to be tuned a little bit. I don't know. The Skaven vs. Vampire Coast is an interesting one. I wonder if we're going to see gun lines. I mean, Vampire Coast can... What I would probably do if I were Vampire Coast against Skaven is I would deploy far back with 4 Carronades. 4 Carronades counters to Zales and Warp Lightning play. And then from there you have Scurvy Dogs to like pick things apart, and Zombies hold pretty well against Skaven actually. So, and then you have Morngulls in reserve once you deal with their guns. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, my friends. And Coast are far from my best faction. No one ever picks Skaven when I go Coast. Yeah. So getting some new faces here into the Ever Chosen, or not Ever Chosen, into the Eternal Challenger League. Pretty cool. I don't think Satsuma or Chosen One played last season. It's pretty cool. I'm excited. We had some really good competition earlier today. Pavel played very well. Pavel played very well also in the match against Chosen One. That was a fun series. No one is playing the Beastie Boys. So Daniel Vargas. We had 2 Beastmen games earlier, I think, or we had at least one. It was during the lag fest, unfortunately. So, what are you looking for, John?
For your painting.
Oh, don't worry about it. No stress. It's probably mostly out, anyways. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. I return Morgul's are good. Sorry about the noise, guys. Morgul's are good. They certainly got nerfed. The fact they don't cause terror, they're quite a bit weaker. Vampire Coast is much weaker in general. Yeah. Vampire Coast, like, I used to feel like Vampire Coast was, man, I used to feel so confident with them. But after all the nerfs, it's a lot of changes. Like, it changes the way you need to play with them, for sure. Like, you can't use, like, certain crutches, like Noctilus or, you know, the zombies even are just much weaker. Beasties are a powerhouse. Yeah, Beastmen are really strong. I think Beastmen are a good faction. So Satsuma's ready. I wonder what his clan is. EP. I believe Satsuma is Vicious Satsuma is from the UK. I think he's in the UK, and then I think Chosen One is from the Czech Republic, if I'm not mistaken. I know somebody in chat was asking where the players are from. So hopefully that answers your question. God, I can't wait to move so I don't have a freaking creaky floor under me when I'm recording. It's so obnoxious when I have a standing desk. I think animated Hulks are terrible, Aristidamos. I would have to disagree with you on that. But I do think Morgul's are still decent. Yeah, Vampire Coast was, like, really oppressive when they first came out. They were pretty oppressive. All right, guys. So, for the build of the Skaven, I actually really, really like what I see. We have Skaven Slave Slingers here, which are very cost-effective against lightly armored big targets, aka Morgul's and things like that. Also a decent deterrent against deck dropper play. On top of that, we have a combination of Plague Monks, looks like some Halberds, Plague Monks, and just like Clan Rats. Yeah, pretty cool little line here. A couple Rat Ogres as well. You always need mass with Skaven. Like, even if you don't think Rat Ogres are good in that particular matchup, you have to have some mass to kind of stop onslaughts. In the back, we got Skrulk Daddy, and that's pretty much it. Now, there were a couple Snipers as well, I think. Let's go ahead and take a look. So it looks like we have, yeah, just Natty Boobos. That's a good choice. Like, they can't be sniped by cannons easily because of their stock ability. And, yeah. Bloated corpses. Oh god, I hope we don't see any of those. Now for the Vampire Coast, we have 2 Carronades up on the high ground. So not going like super balls deep into cannon play, but still pretty deep. He does have Count Noctilus. Oh, guys. And the man, Vicious Satsuma, bringing a bloaty boy. So we do have a bloated corpse, which has had a cost reduction. I mean, if it gets into some Plague Monks, that is good value. Yeah. Sidamos, that's funny. All right, so we got Carronades. We have Count Noctilus on foot. Still is very good despite the nerfs. Like, he's still tanky. The summons are strong. Anti-large is good. We have the Night Terrors, so a lot of people opt to bring these Morgul's now instead because they're the only Morgul's that still cause terror. So he does have these bad boys, and they can do some work. Oh, thanks, darling. 1 second, guys. That's... Yes, good. Thank you. So 1 second, guys. I'm just rubbing some cream on my wrist. I was having some wrist pain over the course of the morning, so... Death Guard used to be Terminators, 100% they used to be. On top of that, looks like we have a Morgul Haunter. We do have some Sirens in the back. I really like the Siren pick. It's like a cheap terror-causing option. And, I mean, Skaven have some really good magic to deal with them, but I like mixing in 1 Siren. I think that's really, really cool. On top of that, a bunch of standard gunnery mobs. So that's... You don't need, like, handguns against Skaven, really. I think the standard gunnery mobs do the trick, because, like, you don't have to worry about flares or doom wheels. They're not going to be common picks here, so that is really, really solid, so... All right, and sorry, I'm just like using one hand right now. Some deck droppers as well. Deck droppers, like having 1, I think is okay. Deck droppers kind of suck in my opinion, but having 1 as a mobile threat to harass enemy artillery or chase things off the battlefield and put a little bit of poke, I think is quite good. So, yes, yes. And over here for the Skaven army in the front line, like we saw, Halberds. We got a ton of slingers. I'm actually a big fan of Night Runner slingers, like the mid-tier ones, but Skaven slaves do the trick just fine. They can certainly pepper down such targets. So. I have really bad tendonitis in my wrist, yeah. And I also have a torn ligament on the outside of my hand. Like I forget what it's called. It's like 2 things. It's mainly, from what I understand, and I've been seeing doctors like for different opinions, it seems like the main conclusion is really, really horrible wrist tendonitis. With like a damaged tendon from something in my youth. I don't know. No, vampires are really good. So, Carronades are going to be shooting in right now. Going to be going downtown and shooting Council Guard. Or not Council Guard, but just regular Storm Vermin. So that's a really, really good choice for sure. You know, taking out some of the more meaty units here from the Skaven. Now, as far as other target priority goes, I mean, maybe shooting Rat Ogres is pretty good. And obviously he can't see the Jezzails yet, so he's not going to be able to shoot those guys. So that's pretty much a non-factor here. So here comes the main force of the Skaven, going to be surging forward. And Plague Monks will cut through them quick. But again, Plague Monks are a juicy target for Vampire Coast gunnery mobs. So these 2 gunnery mobs, if they focus fire, for example, the Plague Monks down, that's going to be paying for themselves. They only cost 300, so That's really, really cost effective. So the first volleys are coming in. Definitely want to focus those Plague Monks down. Deck Droppers are waiting, and it looks like he's going to be doing a flank collapse with the Morghuls. So he's going to be sweeping up and around the formation and trying to get terror routes. Now the first volleys are going down from the Vampire Coast. The zombies dropping a nice little salvo there into the Plague Monks, but the Plague Monks, don't take too much. They only lose 2 models, and those Rat Boys are going to be chasing quite aggressively, but nice crossfire coming in. And honestly, you could leave zombie power gunnery mobs to just kind of tank those halberds. I mean, Skaven halberds don't have the best damage output anyway, so it's not going to be a bad idea. They're still trying to run here. The Plague Monks are hot in pursuit. Bombers are now coming in, and friendly firing, but still getting some decent value against the Plague Monks, which I think is the ideal situation. And you can see the Deck Droppers in the distance, probably going to be going after the Rat Ogres. Yeah, the frontline engagement's underway. So the zombie deckhand mobs will actually be pretty good against the Clan Rats with Spears. Clan Rats with Spears are definitely, their damage output is like low enough that the low melee defensive deckhand mobs doesn't really matter. But the Bomber's doing a lot of good work actually against the Skaven here. They're able to just crump all over those Plague Monks, and that's, in one way, that's one of the ways on which I'm really behind on the meta for Skaven, because Plague Monks can just do some, or Bombers can actually do very well against light infantry. Some Scurvy Dogs in the back are able to get on the Skaven Slaves with Slingers. I was actually about to critique the Vampire Coast build a moment ago for not having Scurvy Dogs, but he does have some. And they should 100% be searching for Jezzails right now, if he's aware of their presence yet. Slingers are going after the Night Terrors, and of course the Night Terrors are going to be rampaging into these Clan Rats with spears with shields. Yeah, it's a pretty bad situation for them, actually. Over here, we do have the Morgul Hunter in the front lines, going to be eating some of these rats. You can see he's chewing on one of those ratty boys, taking some Skaven Slave Slingers. Jezzails are sniping. What are they even shooting? You guys see that? I think they're going after Noctilus. So it looks like Noctilus is taking some pretty serious focus fire here. 1 second, guys. Here comes another Scorch ability coming down from the Skaven, from Skrulk Daddy, doing some great work against the Tide of Skjold. Noctilus is being focused, but a Wraith Storm is going to be getting dropped here on Lord Skrulk, which should do some okay damage. I mean, it's kind of lackluster, to be honest. The Bombers, though, have been really performing quite well, actually really taking apart some of these Summon Rats and putting some pressure on the front line. Syreens are being used on the flank to fight against the Clan Rats. They will win that fight as well. So far, it's a pretty close fight. I think Vampire Coast is doing a good job holding its pocket, but now the Skaven are able to get a couple good picks on the Night Terrors here, and they might be able to push into the back line. Granted, there are reserve guns. Noctilus is still here. He probably still has summons, but man, those Jezzails need to be dealt with. Like, Scurvy Dogs, like, have to get those things. Like, killing Skaven Slave Slingers is, like, cool and all, but it's not necessary at all. The only thing that's really going to punish this Vampire Coast army is those Jezzails just giving Noctilus the dirty business. So Noctilus here is going to be summoning some gunnery mobs, to fight against the Rat Ogres, but the Jezzails, he's just letting, he's letting those Jezzails just take him to Pound City here, Poundland in the UK, I suppose. And you can see here the Morgul Hunter, Terror Beast, going to be going after Clan Rat. Should be able to get that pick there. They're probably going to get terror routed in a moment, I would imagine. Deck Droppers going after some loose Storm Vermin, thinking probably he could chase him off, but the Storm Vermin might actually be able to win that fight. And it looks like the Rat Boys are pulling ahead in this battle. I mean, the fact that Noctilus is getting Shrek'd so bad is really, really punishing, and the Jezzails just have had no interference, and they've just been doing work this entire game. So the Skaven have really done well in this pocket. Vampire Coast, for the most part, has secured this one, so both players have kind of traded a flank here. The Terrors in the Night, or the Night Terrors, are actually still going somehow, up to 50 kills, which isn't bad. Skaven Slaves will start throwing some rocks at them. Not the most accurate of folk, but it can still do some decent damage, which is quite nice. Jezzails, I think they're still shooting Noctilus, so let's go ahead and take a look and watch and follow their tracers here, but no, it looks like they're going after the Bombers, actually. Noctilus must have gone out of range. I think he did. I think he went to the far side of the battlefield, which is quite strong. Now, this thing is still going to be scary, and Noctilus still has quite some distance before his healing cap, so Noctilus healing with a Morgul Hunter actually could be really gross against Skaven. And there's still Syreens coming in for Vampire Coast as well. The Syreens are going to be coming around the flank and chasing those Skaven Slaves, and there's a lot of terror left, believe it or not. I'm actually, felt like the Skaven were in a very good position, but now that I kind of reassess the battlefield, I feel like Vampire Coast really is in a bad shape. Although the Carronade here is getting taken down, Bombers are trying their best to kind of hold off the Rats. Noctilus going to be going in with the Halberd, trying to hold here, but these Night Terrors just won't die. Man, how are they still alive? They've been fighting like Halberds and getting sniped and just all kinds of nastiness, and they've also done some pretty good work against Skrull. Syreens, in the meantime, definitely asking for a Pestilent Breath. Skrull does have that ability, so Pestilent Breath would probably almost one-shot these guys if you got a really good cast here, so definitely need to deal with those Syreens before they get too nasty. If you look over here, Skaven are actually collapsing on the back. Noctilus might be able to salvage this situation with a zombie-powered deckhand summon. Looks like he did use the Wrath's Moondial to summon those bad boys, and he might be able to peel off these Rat Ogres. Noctilus, of course, does have Albert, does have anti-large, and he's going to be pretty strong here. And yeah, the Morgul Hunter coming in should actually, it depends on the frenzy of these Rat Ogres, but it should actually push those guys off pretty quick. So if we look, bounce power is pretty even. As far as troop count goes, 674 here for the Vampire Coast, or for the Skaven, And for the Vampire Coast, it's 277. But again, troop quality for Vampire Coast is quite good. And the Sirens have finally caught the scent of the Natty Bubo sharpshooters. And they really need to get those guys. Like, really need to hunt those guys down. If the Natty Bubos, like, are able to stabilize and these guys get peeled, for example, the Skaven could just fall back and use the sharpshooters to snipe Noctilus, to snipe a ton of these targets, including the Morngul Haunter. So this is actually, like, really big here. He really needs to get these Jezzails. And the Jezzails are waddling to the best of their speed, 37 speed, but these Haggard Banshee ladies do have pretty fast speed themselves. They have 48 speed, so they're going to be hunting down these rats. They are on critical binding themselves, but they do cause terror, so they should be able to maybe terror out some of these troops off. And yeah, the Jezzails here for Chosen One might actually be able to get away. And man, these two players are very evenly matched, it would seem. Very good games between them. Noctilus and company trying to stabilize the Carronade. The fact that the Carronade is taken out is quite big. That Carronade is actually a pretty good answer against the freaking rat snipers back there. But now the Vampire Coast mobility and firepower is like nullified. So that gives the Skaven freedom to kite, freedom to pull them apart, freedom to pretty much just, you know, do whatever they want. Brings it to your tentacle by. It's pretty good. So back here you can see that the Sirens are able to get the Natty Bubo sharpshooters. That is a big pick. That is a really big game changer. Now, Vicious Satsuma needs to summon all the might in his wrist, all the fury of that wrist, and just click and click and click and click and make sure that these Sirens just chase down these sharpshooters, that they can't come back and become a factor. As a matter of fact, if you could shatter them, that would be great. So they're broken. Skaven still have slingers. They have several groups of slingers, which will be pretty good at clearing out the chaff. But this Morngul Haunter plus Noctilus are actually going to be a very tough bargain to break, guys. It ain't going to be free. That certainly is not free real estate. Plus, deck droppers here are pretty good. Deck droppers actually chasing off rat ogres. Just like I said in the beginning of the analysis, like having one group of like mobile units like that to just chase things off is going to be very strong. So in the back, the Sirens might be... Oh, did he shatter the sharpshooters? Did he shatter them? No, he did not. So the sharpshooters still have 11 models of 24, so almost half their firing capacity. So if those guys come back and start shooting, that's going to be pretty big. And you can see that the Vampire Coast is like, Anakin, I'm too weak. This is literally Anakin. He's like crawling after his legs get burned off. He's like, Obi-Wan, help me. But yeah, he's going after Skrulk here. I mean, that's a pretty good target. Skrulk will get gooned out by this thing. This thing has bonus for his infantry, so Skrulk needs to squeal and run for sure. Just give his best rat squeal and flee. Oh man, Skrulk just gets steel chaired in the back, taking almost 500 damage from that. That's brutal. The Morngul Haunter really giving him the business. Rat Ogres are going to be coming in, and it looks like a summon might be going down. No, it's actually Rod of Corruption, so, I mean, it's a little damage. It's not much, but... And guys, the Jezzails are back online. This is really big here. The Jezzails are going to give a ton of firepower here against the Morngul Haunter. Thankfully, he still has some Rat Ogres to actually hold these guys in place. Otherwise, the Morngul Haunter could just chase Skrulk and, you know, go for that booty, so we're watching here. The Morngul Haunter here, 2,900. Invocation of Nehek is going to be going down as well. That invocation is huge. I don't think Noctilus would benefit from it because he's basically at his healing cap, so he just used the single cast variant, which is good to avoid overcast. And the Morngul Haunter here is able to... Oh man, but the summon here is big, and oh man, I didn't see this. So Vicious Satsuma still has deck droppers left. If those deck droppers can get back here and finish off the Jezzails, that will probably actually be game for Vampire Coast, and I think the Coast will win this. He 100% needs to go back there. Like, the Jezzails are one of the few things that can actually punish the Morngul Haunter still. And the Skaven are breaking off in pretty much every direction. Slingers will actually do well against the deck droppers here, but you can see the Jezzails are like the last bastion of hope, just kind of wearing down that Morngul Haunter. Oh my god, this is such a crazy game. The Morngul Haunter is an MVP. He's like, aka Anakin, but oh, the Slingers just wrecking his face. And here comes the deck droppers going after the Jezzails. Good play there. Smart stuff. They're going to be shooting them, they're going to be chasing them, and that's going to take away a lot of the anti-large focus fire. And now it's basically just going to be Skaven slaves. Skrulk needs to go down too. I mean, Noctilus might get dragged down. I mean, is there any Skaven infantry presence? Not really. Morngul Haunter just slaps that Rat Ogre in the dome piece and sends him flying. But the Skaven slave slingers could be the heroes that the Under Empire needs. Bounce power is actually pretty even, but the deck droppers here, like I said, are just like a huge saving grace. They're going to be able to finish off those guys. And oh no, Skrulk is going to get feasted on. Oh, Skrulk! Getting slapped by the inflatable arms man. Count Noctilus is here as well, and he's no slouch of a duelist, and Skrulk Daddy is actually broken. And he's actually going to be slowed from the Morngul Haunter's chilling aura, so, you know, if Satsuma is willing to chase this guy down, that's probably going to be game there. I just don't see how the Skaven slaves are going to hold up against this. Man, the bounce bar just getting crunk all up in here. But that's going to be army losses. There's no way with another summon. So another really veteran play by Satsuma is he really kept all his summons in the back pocket. Like, he didn't spam them early. He had a lot of summons in that late game. So that's going to be a Vampire Coast victory for Satsuma against the foul Skaven hordes. What a match. What a match. That was a good one. And I got to stretch my feet before they fall asleep. So that's going to be 2-1. So if Satsuma wins the next game, he will be moving on to the Eternal Challenger League Grand Finals. He will be joining Falcon in the existing company. Satsuma says, very good effort. Such a tough matchup. How I feel I deserve the win. GG. All right. So next we'll do the Pillar of Bone. The Morngul slap game is quite strong. He's like one of those like slap champion guys. Animated Hulks are terrible. Don't listen to Aristodemus. That was a great comeback. Yeah, because he was on the ropes. The Skaven were pretty dominant, I think. So Chosen says, did you counter Libra with heal? And he says, Vicious Satsuma says, yes, I did use a heal instantly. It would appear. You were the chosen one. Guys, I mean, it's 2-1. If Satsuma wins this, it's game over. But if Chosen One is able to get it back, we're going to game 5. And these guys seem very evenly matched. Very, very evenly matched. So I'm very excited to have these two fine gentlemen on stream today. It was not over before it began. Not at all. That was anyone's game. Alrighty. On the road again. I just can't wait again. Alright, guys. Turin, what do you think of the new non-legendary lords? I think the Huntsman General is pretty cool, and I think that the Croxagore Ancient is actually is pretty solid. They're both good. The non-legendary lords for the DLCs are good. I think they're both have fun niche applications. So Vicious Satsuma says he's going to pick Norsca, and he gets a ban as well. So let's see what he bans. I'm going to sit down in the bed for a second, actually. Usually these flash tournaments are like 2 hours, but with all our technical bullshit, it was like it got pretty long on us here. Oh. Yes, good. And then for the ban, what do we got? Yeah, the Huntsman General, his fire combos are really fun. I mean, it's a little bit gamey. Like, it's not like super consistent, but it can still do good. So Satsuma's thinking of the ban right now. He's trying to think about what he wants to ban here. I can't wait till more people get Gotrek and Felix so we can start seeing them in tournaments. That'd be really fun. The Croxagore Ancient is pretty good. The Croxagore Ancient is actually better than Nakai because he's like 600 gold cheaper and he basically does the same thing. Plus he has the Amulet of Itzel, I think, for his sniping. So he's going Norsca, he's banning Wood Elves. That's good. Yeah, Skaven are definitely a villainous faction. You should make everyone stick with one faction and one build next tournament. Oh, that's what Lore Master of Sotek does. That's his thing. That's his jam. Aspiring Champions, I haven't really given him a fair shake in a long time. So he bans Wood Elves. And Chosen One is going to play the Empire. Come on, bring the wagons. I'm surprised, Marcus Wolfhard, I feel like he's really good, but people just don't seem to bring him. It's like you're mainly seeing like Franz, Franz is a safe pick. He's able to just goon things out, and is just like a game changer. But I mean, Marcus is really good too. Yeah. The Huntsmen are really good. Huntsmen are incredibly solid because they can kite, they can 360 shoot, they have anti-large, like their output's good, they have loose formations, which makes them harder to kind of take down with enemy missiles. We have the Empire versus Norsca. This is a fun matchup for sure. Are we going to see wagons? Imagine wagons. I think Marcus is very good in this matchup, but I don't know. Is he going to bring it? I hope so. By Sigmar, yes. And speaking of Sigmar, I'll be having my Sigmar stream tomorrow, so our Empire campaign with Karl Franz will be tomorrow. I'm going to be trying to finish it, actually. I mean, yeah, the Empire has villainous characteristics, but like some are exponentially more villainous, yeah. I feel like the Empire is pretty close to good guys. I mean, yeah, they have corruption and greed, but for the most part, they have some good folks. No, but I mean, you can't compare the villainy of Chaos or the Skaven to that of the Empire. It's like a whole nother. Hey, what's up, Patrick from the Czech Republic? Hope you're doing well, man. The Chads of the North descend upon the Beta Southerners. I don't think so. The Empire are the best. You stop that. Yeah, Huntsmen are way better than Crossbowmen. Yeah, for sure. Like, why take Crossbowmen when you can take Huntsmen? Huntsmen are like, oh, wait, we can kite and skirmish, and we have Vanguard, and we have anti-large. Crossbowmen are just like, oh, well, we can stand still and shoot. Yeah, I actually might take Huntsman here. But honestly, against Norsca, what I really like to do is, what I would do, I'd probably bring like 3 Greatswords, Sigmar Sons, a Warrior Priest, Marcus, a Life Caster, two Huntsmen, a couple Demogryph Knights to sweep the back line, and that's it. Because like Greatswords actually really catch Norscan front lines off guard. Like a lot of Norscan players are like bringing Marauders and stuff. Which dwarves are like definitely have a lot of bad matchups as a problem, especially in a single band format. Well, so what we do with our best of 5 or best of 3s is we do double bands, but for the finals we do a single band. So like dwarves like are a little bit safer to pick. Like you could pick dwarves and ban like Beastmen and like, you know, someone else with good chariot play for sure. Yeah. Yeah, Empire Archers are good too. I like them. Pretty decent pick against Norsca. Like good against Berserkers, good against like the Skin Wolves and, you know, all that kind of lightly armored stuff. Pillar Bone is a somewhat small map, so players are going to be fighting somewhat quick, but you can deploy far back if you want and take advantage of some of the open field. Halberdiers are good as well. Yeah, I think Halberdiers can be good in this matchup. There's a number of ways you can play. Usually I would keep Halberds in reserve. Vampires aren't evil, they're just some thirsty boys. I'm pretty sure they like torture people and stuff. Turin is just saying that his real anti-Norsca build is 8 wagons and a lord. I've tried that against Norsca. I've tried to bring like 2 wagons and like Marcus, and like it's just so haggard. I think the most success I had with it, with like a wagon build against Norsca, was like it wasn't tournament legal though. It was on ladder. I used 2 wagons. I used the Hellblaster wagon. No, I had 3 wagons. I had Marcus. I had Templeoff Luminarch, and I had a Light Wizard. So I literally had 3 nets to cycle between, and then I had a bunch of like Empire Knights and things like that. So, ODM Chosen One is ready. Vicious Satsuma coming in hot. Empire 20 stacks looks scary now. Yeah. Wolfheart's really good. I really hope we see Marcus Wolfheart. I think against Norsca he's so good. He can like Throg gets pounded, Wolfric gets sniped. Freaking, you know, Mammoths can get taken out pretty quick by his focus shots. Huntsman Krunk Famir pretty well. It's not like the best because of the armor and the missile resist, but it's still decent. Like it's not bad at all. Yeah, the wagons are just not that great though. The wagons are just so haggard. Dwarves got some help, yeah, and plus their gyrocopters now have a bonus for Large. 1 second, guys. I'll be back in just a moment. All right, guys, I'm back. Just had to help Anna find something real quick. Yeah, I actually, when I play against Norsca, I love bringing great swords. I love it. It's actually really strong, I think. Especially with some Warrior Priest support, because like the new Soulfire Bombardment can just Shrek Norsca pretty good. And again, not seeing Marcus. Like, oh man, it's going to be Franzi. Or Todd. Oh, it's going to be the Toad. I mean, Toad's good here too. You don't have to allocate resources to healing him. And also, it allows you to go with an Amethyst Wizard. Empire's really strong dead like me. They're really, really good, trust me. It's just like perhaps the players that are playing them, you know, maybe don't have the mastery over them, or like they just got outplayed. I mean, Empire's really good, trust me. So we got Toddy. Well, we'll actually let him set up a little bit. We'll look at the Norscan army first. So classic Norscan stuff, just swarming with Warhounds. Empire is often known for its cannons, its powder pieces. You guys see the bounce of power? Look at that bounce of power. It's just like, you know, it's like, you know what? Screw you, Empire. Let's just give it to Norsca. That's so weird. But anyways, it's going to be a bunch of hounds, which obviously are designed to chase down pistoliers, skirmisher units, archers, handgunners, all that good stuff. So he's got 3 of those. He does also have the Miststalkers, 2 groups of throwing axes, which are a great natural counter against Empire Heavy Cav. These guys can do just wonders against Empire Heavy Cav. He's got Marauders in the front line, and like I say, if you mix in Greatswords, sometimes Norsca comes in with Berserkers and Marauders, and the Greatswords of Sigmar just pound him. But again, he has Chariots, he has Bale Fiends, he has Miststalkers, so he has plenty of answers against Greatswords to boot. But a ton of backline pressure. Now, as far as his leadership core goes, it's going to be a Marauder Chieftain on foot, so just going dirt cheap here for Vicious Satsuma. He does also have a Shaman Sorcerer with the fire, and it looks like it's going to be Enfeebling Foe on the Bale Fiend with Melkos. Very, very solid stuff. Yeah, Empire is very hard to play, but they have a very, very high skill cap. Now for the Empire, going to be going for a defensive box, it looks like. So they got Great Swords mixed in with Sigmar Suns. Great stuff. I love it. He does also have Spirit Leech with an Amethyst Wizard, so he's going to be trying to snipe with Toddy. He'll probably be spamming Spirit Leech on Wolfric or the Marauder Chieftain, and then just using Todbringer to kind of goon him out. We do have one Great Cannon, one group or two groups of handgunners, but that's pretty much it. It's going to be a defensive formation, which, I don't know, I guess it could hold because Norsca invested a ton of elements into their skirmishing core. 4 Hounds, Horsemen. So, like, if he's able to kind of mitigate the effectiveness of the Hounds and just grind it out with his Greatswords and Todbringer, like, he could win this for sure. So we'll see how this goes. Ironbreakers. Ironbreakers are really cool. They're a cool unit for sure. So there are some Pistoliers. Pistoliers are pretty good against the Marauder Horsemen. They have more range. But again, Marauder Horsemen can beat them in melee, so if they just chase them, eventually they might catch them. It's hard to say. Plus the Warhounds, it's going to make it very hard for Pistoliers to be happy. Like, what he's going to have to do with the Pistoliers is just skirmish a little bit and then, like, fall back behind his own lines. Because there's no way these Pistoliers are going to have any battlefield control. Like, there's no Demogryph Knights, there's no mobile pressure here for the Empire. Yeah. Yeah, I think Marcus might even be better with a build like this. Like, defensively, like, Spirit Leech plus Marcus is really good. Like, you can kill stuff really quickly. So Pistolier's going to be shooting in, getting some pot shots here against some Marauders, maybe taking out a couple models, but they're shielded, so it's not going to be the best. The Great Cannon is probably going to shoot at the Chariots, I would imagine. I mean, I don't know. I guess the Great Cannon's shooting downtown. Oh, can it see the Miststalkers? I guess it can. So he was able to discover the Miststalkers. So the artillery is going to be shooting Miststalkers, which is a great choice. Miststalkers are one of the few things on this Norscan roster that can really annihilate Greatswords. That and the Chariots, of course. Berserkers trade okay against Greatswords, but for the most part, Greatswords do have a good engagement there because of the armor, and Berserkers lack AP. So the Pistoliers are kiting and fighting, getting some decent little poke damage here on the front line. But again, with the Hound pressure, they're most certainly going to have to hiding in the pocket. And I kind of like this multi-layered formation here. It's going to be like trying to drag the Norscans through the mud while he snipes things with Boris as well as that Amethyst Wizard. So the Norscan front line is going to be engaging here soon. They are taking a bit of damage, but here comes the front line fighting. Swordsmen aren't going to be getting the counter charge, unfortunately. They do have a charge bonus of 14, so they're going to be taking the Iceform Marauders right in the face, and the Marauders will beat the brakes off those guys. So Spearman and company just holding. Spirit Leech going to be going down to the Balefiend. That's a smart play. That's probably smarter than going after the Chieftain. The Chieftain just isn't that much of a threat. So really, really cool defensive Empire formation, but this is a really good pick here for the Empire. Todbringer going after the Balefiend, Spirit Leech going after him and just like gooning him. So Toddy, you know, he's pissed about getting wrecks in my campaign, so he's certainly looking for some vengeance right here. You can see the Familiar Balefiend is going to be pushed back, but it doesn't break, and it's still kind of stable, surprisingly, but Toddy's going to be chasing that down, I would imagine. Now in the back line, oh no, Hounds get in, so some Hounds are able to circumvent the Spearmen there and get into the cannon, which is really bad. Pistoliers and company are able to peel the other ones, but a Burning Head's going to be coming down as well, hitting those Sigmar Suns, doing about 7 or 8 models worth, hitting the Berserkers a little bit, so some friendly fire. Not the best Burning Head, but certainly not bad. Now, Toddy might want to go after that Balefiend still. I think he's still a juicy target, and there's nothing back there to really peel. Now, the front line is kind of faltering for the Empire. The Swordsmen and Spearmen are getting crumped, but now Swordsmen and Greatswords have been sent in. So the Greatswords of Sigmar are going to be able to put up a good fight here. They'll beat down the Marauders, and they should certainly be able to take out the Berserkers as well. Now, some Iceform Marauders are being force pathed into the back line to attack the Berserkers and some of those other troops. Toddy, in the meantime, is... where's Toddy? Is he going after that caster? I'm not sure. No, Toddy's in the back here. So he's up in the sky, and the Norscans are in the back line. So that kind of multi-layered formation did not hold that long. And it looks like Norsca might be able to just get in here with this very wide Marauder Chieftain build and take these guys apart. Granted, there's still halberds, there's still spears. If Toddy's able to kind of goon out some high-value targets, there's still certainly a chance for them to come back. Halberds have engaged on Horsemen here, which is good. The Horsemen might have been forgot about and left in combat a little bit too long. Obviously, trying to push off the cannons and other tools like that. But Norsca is pulling ahead pretty hard on the balance of power. Greatswords are doing a great job, like I said. Up to 42 kills, and they've only been fighting for a moment, still grinding very efficiently. But I just think that the compromising situation in the back line of the handgunners and the cannon being taken out is just far, far too much. So if we look at Toddy, Toddy's up in the sky again. He is going to be going after the Shaman. Oh, so there's actually 2 casters here for Satsuma. It looks like he might be going in to try and finish off this caster. Don't know if that's really necessary since it's at, like, you know, almost shattering point, but I guess he's going to be trying to salvage the Greatswords, realizing that, you know, situation over there is a little bit lost. Sigmar Sun's still fighting, and the Empire is kind of clawing their way back into the game ever so slightly, as a lot of troops are coming back now. Halberds are still in good shape, and, you know, a lot of Norsca's army was skirmishers, and Toddy is certainly up to the task of gooning out all these characters. So that guy is shattered. The Shaman Sorcerer is 100% shattered. Toddy needs to methodically just go and snipe things now. Just go take out the Balefiend, who is a pretty powerful unit. Assist the Sigmar Suns in combat, I think, is the direction you go. Pistoliers are still kiting in some respects. But man, Norsca just has so much aggression left. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be able to claw his way back in. Spirit Leech is going down on the Chieftain, so clearly he kind of shows his intent as to what he wants to take out here. Toddy's going to be going after the Chieftain, and yeah, the Chieftain should get wrecked pretty hard. I mean, Toddy might be able to get some good terror routes, but if he has no support, like, there's not much left for the Empire. I mean, Sigmar's Sons are fighting. Some Pistoliers are kiting a little bit on the outside. Some Handgunners have come back online, so maybe if those Handgunners can turn and start shooting and getting rid of the mobile threats here for Norsca. Still some Spears out there, and Toddy is able to almost steel chair the Marauder Chieftain. Not quite the steel chair, it's like the half chair, but nonetheless, still getting some okay value. So if we look here, as far as the troops go, 522 to 577. So Empire's still fighting in many respects, and those greatswords still going strong. I mean, like, really good against Norscan infantry. Really, really good. Yeah, I'm telling you, I think just going for like a heavy metal Empire front line can really catch Norscan players off guard. So here comes Toddy. Toddy's going to be turning around, probably going after the Marauder Chieftain, I would imagine, and Balefiend. I mean, there's a nice little 2-for-1 right there. A 2-for-1 deal? Yeah, like pull in these troops here, help out Toddy. I think that's the way to do it. Now, as far as what Satsuma needs to do to claim victory, just, you know, keep freaking chasing off the Empire scraps. Like, there's a lot of stuff for you to kind of go after here, but this would be an insane comeback. So the Marauder Chieftain holds. The Spearmen and other state troops are trying to surge in there to help. Toddy is going to be okay in this situation. Nothing here has anti-large, and he does, of course, have the White Cloak of Ulrich and Crush the Weak and a couple other nice effects. And the Marauder Chieftain actually breaks, and Toddy's going in. He's not showing any mercy. 287 HP there. He might be able to get the Chieftain. What do we have in the back line for the Empire? So some Spears back here are fighting some of these Norscan Warhounds. There's really just nothing left. I mean, it's mainly just the Todd. Yeah, we got some Swordsmen coming back in. Some Halberds would be helpful, of course. Todd's trying to get back up in the sky, but maybe he just wants to fight these guys. Yeah, he's going to be pulling back through his Spears. It's always a really good tactic if, like, you have nearby troops and you want to get back up in the sky. Just pull back through your own troops. It's a very, very good tactic. It's still, like, become a 7 or 8 minute game, despite that, like, near, you know, destruction of the Empire early on. Greatswords are coming back in. Maybe Toddy actually just secures his situation, like secures his pocket. He does get his Wizard back as well, so the Amethyst Wizard does come back for a moment, but not for long, because now he's going to be feasted on by the Warhounds. Let's just imagine being this Wizard, just like, oh god! Like these bristled Norscan Warhounds just everywhere, just feasting. That's a very, very scary situation. So Toddy is going to be going after the caster, I would imagine. I mean, I don't think the Chieftain is a huge threat right now, but I guess killing him does kind of give a bit of a morale feeling to your army. Greatswords here get slapped with the Melkoths. And in the back, the Marauder Chieftain is going to pay the troll toll. Oh, Toddy coming in to crush the weak. And down he goes. Yeah, he's dead for sure. 0, is he done? No, he's just broken, actually. Oh, he just got knocked over. So Toddy actually has to actually finish him off here. Now, what do we have left for the Sons of Sigmar? Not much. We have a Deathcaster in the back. Yeah, Soulfires are so good against Berserkers. So good. Oh, my goodness. I just don't think there's any way for the Empire to come back. Toddy's a powerhouse, of course, and he's full health, but the Miststalkers are still here. They're still throwing axes, but granted, the throwing axes are out of ammo. Is there anything he can salvage from his Imperial force? Not really. I think he's trying to get over here to get those Norscan Warhounds to maybe get his Deathcaster back, because a couple Spirit Leeches could be very useful against those Famir. Marauder Chieftain's breaking, and honestly, it became a relatively close game considering. Yeah, it's been a balls deep stream. It's been a pretty deep stream due to the lag issues we had earlier. Yeah, and the Deathcaster's pushed off. Toddy is going to be going after Chariots, which isn't a bad idea. It's kind of a free target out here, and if he's able to terror out them, they might just run off the battlefield. But Norsca is Legion. They have a ton of stuff here. A ton of stuff left. So the Marauder getting hunted down by Boris. He's on the hunt. And he's trying his best. But it looks like Vicious Satsuma is probably going to take this one, therefore being a 3-1 victory. Oh, Dead Like Me. You just wait till you see someone who plays a lot of Empire on them. They are a hard faction to play, though. So Toddy's looking for opportunities. He doesn't really have anything left. I think that's it. So Toddy has to engage here. Oh, he's saying congrats, GG. Okay, so they're chatting to each other right now. So Toddy's going to be engaging here in a second. I think that's it. That's left for the Empire. Let me go ahead and double check. Toddy must engage. Oh, never mind. He has some Spearmen. Yeah, but they're broken now, so now he has to go. I mean, I guess the Spearmen aren't shattered, really, but... yeah, we'll see. He is barely listening. Who's barely listening? Toddy? Is he saying Toddy's barely listening? All right, so here come the Norskins. And, yeah, Toddy just has to stay and fight now. Todd versus the world, or the northern part of it, at least. This stream is deep. Franz is always disappointed in Boris. Boris is just a difficult troll. So here it comes. Toddbringer's last stand. He is steady. I mean, if Toddbringer can maybe kill the Balefiend and some of these other characters, but that's just so much stuff. He's barely listening, traitor. That's pretty funny. Yeah, I think like the Empire build just wasn't well suited. Like you need Demogryph Knights. Like they're so good at hammering back like the mobile pressure from Norsca. Like a little bit of terror like goes a long way. Volkmar of the Grim is actually a pretty good choice here too. Marcus is great. Marcus could have sniped those characters. But like yeah, you need a little bit more meat in your army. Like halberds and greatswords I think are the way to go here. Toddy's just fighting. I mean, is there a chance here? Toddy heals himself too, guys. So that is something to take into account. If Toddy could beat down the Miststalkers, maybe. Yeah, Toddy isn't Tyrion, that's for sure. I mean, Toddy's pretty alpha, though, for sure, but he doesn't have, like, Sunfang or anything like that, so he's just going to be kind of grinding this fight out. Empire does have massive build variety, 100%. They have a ton of different options to play with. But again, there are still optimized builds against certain factions. Like Demogryph Knight, Warrior Priest. God damn, I hate this floor so much. The Warrior Priests are really, really good in this matchup. Yeah, really, really good in this matchup. But anyways, Toddy's getting close to his healing cap. That'll be army losses soon. The fact, if the Miststalkers weren't here, there might actually be something that could work. But the Miststalkers, the fact that there's like this high mass AP unit here against Toddy is just so valuable. Now Toddy, what has he even been attacking? I guess he's going after the hounds. The hounds are shaking. The Marauders are terrified. Hey, Toddy's going out like a champ though. He's now the Todd receiver, yeah. And that's going to be army losses. So guys, Vicious Satsuma is the champion of the Eternal Challenger League Season 3 Qualifier number 2. And we're going to be carving his name, well, writing his name, etching it into the parchment of France, the Imperial Order. You're allowed to resign. I think they were just chatting, so they were kind of like, you know, doing that. So Vicious Satsuma here with the 3-1 victory. Very, very good game. So now let us go add his name in to the tablet with Falcon. Great. And write this in. So Vicious Satsuma is going to be the second individual to qualify for the grand finals, which of course will be coming up in probably 7 or 8 weeks. And he joins Falcon here on the decree of the Emperor. Well played indeed. Thank you both. Satsuma coming in with the steel chair. I know, he played some really good games today. They both did. Chosen played great too. I mean, that was a great series. Both solid players. I'm glad we were able to get past that lag because that was just some brutal stuff early. So guys, as of now, Falcon qualified week 1, Vicious Satsuma qualified week 2. We have 2 of our 8 finalists, and we will march forward in the name of Sigmar and continue this Eternal Challenger League. So the next one is probably going to be either next Friday or Saturday. Stay tuned for that and details on that. But as of now, that's going to be it for now. He's doing it. He's hanging out. You guys can see the bracket today. Let's go ahead and update this just for the sake of thematics. Vicious Satsuma is going to be the winner of this Hunter and the Beast edition of the Eternal Challenger League. So thank you guys so much. I almost just switched to the desk cam and I'm literally just standing here shirtless, just casting this. That would have been really bad. All right, so congrats to him. Well played, well played. Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome, Vicious. You did great, man. So stay tuned for the finals, which will be in a couple weeks with hopefully a more glorious cash prize than last time. But again, it was still decent last time. But yeah. The Empire shall rise once more. That's correct. All right, guys. So special thanks to a bunch of folks. We got some new members, some new donations today. So Simon Benjamin, Megajunk S, Matthew Heathcote, Megajunk also becoming a member, Demented Frog, Manuel E. Lopez, and Samuel Christensen. Thank you guys so much for your generosity. As always, it really helps support the multiplayer community and me doing this for a living. Thank you, guys. Carl's a little bit disappointed for sure in Todd, but Toddbringer's just the ultimate troll anyway. So. All right, guys, thanks again for joining. I'm going to play you guys out with some music. So for anyone watching this back, there's no spoilers. And we will see you guys on the other side. Thanks for watching.